It is our mission to embrace the ideal that our show shall always strive to belittle the stupid and to play an occasional song. We shall also strive to take all of your requests, but to never, under any circumstances, play those requests. It is our mission to offend as many people as we can in the shortest time possible. We shall always remember that no matter how pointless and stupid the things we say are, we shall present them in such a way that they will be lessons that will last a lifetime. We shall strive always to do nothing and to be mean. We shall strive mightily to always be the #1 morning show in Salt Lake, or, if not that, the #2 morning show, or at least somewhere in the top 15 or 20 morning shows. At least once a year, we shall go to someone's home, and we shall eat really good food, and we'll make you wish that you could be there to share it with us. And finally, it is our mission to always remind the listeners that we never lie, and we're always right. So let it be written, so let it be done.
So brilliant, it makes me almost cry. And?
On this day,
Yes.
in 1975, David Bowie released the single Young Americans.
From it's the titular, I love saying titular, it's the titular song of the album, Young Americans.
Yes.
And I was just reading some of the stuff about it. You know, I like to look up the facts about it. Takes me back to now. Was that Bowie song that actually made me really like David Bowie?
Oh, really?
And then go back and start considering some of his early stuff.
Oh.
You know, okay, David Bowie. That was kind of.
I did the same thing with, it was probably Ashes to Ashes, seeing the video. And then I went, that guy, that's pretty good.
I haven't seen anything like that before.
You know, that's the sequel to that one song that they play, The Space Oddity. I know that one. Then I went back.
So and
That's my favorite Bowie song.
And in the song, he sings, "I heard the news today. Oh boy," reference to, of course, the Beatles song, and John Lennon worked on songs on that album, Fame in particular. I think Lennon might have written Fame, but I know he sings on it. And so.
And fitting for today's times, I think, with the Young Americans.
As timely as today's headlines.
The facts that I'm looking, the very first one fact, though, is Bowie never was a young American.
Really?
He was born and raised in England.
How about that?
Bowie said that this was the result of cramming his whole American experience into one song. It's awfully good. Awfully good. Hi.
You're having tummy issues.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of a stomach ache today, so I'm going to have, I'll have some kombucha. That often helps settle my stomach. And I really do like the kombucha, except when occasionally you get that little, it doesn't happen every time, but you get a thing of like snot in your, and it surprises me every time. It doesn't happen every time. Sometimes you just feel it slide down. That's okay. But if it gets caught in your mouth, bah. So we'll try the kombucha and see if that helps settle my stomach.
Yuck.
Oh, man. And I was, I don't know, a bunch of things rambling through my head this morning as I was walking toward the studio here, and I see that the big billboard, we have the big lighted up billboard of 50 West Broadway here. And the country station has Garth Brooks,
Of course.
picture of Garth Brooks, and the hip hop station has Nicki Minaj. And we have a kitty.
Yes.
We have a kitty.
That's why ours is.
I think it's perfect.
That's why ours is noticed.
I've had more people comment on this billboard then I don't remember the last time.
Exactly.
They love it.
This billboard and this TV commercial, people have told me, hey, I've seen that. When
And-
we've done a couple that I've gotten no mention at all.
And I wish I lied because I've had people say, "Is that your Riley puppy? That looks like your?"
Just say yes.
But I said no. I wish I'd said.
It's actually good that you say no, because if you said yes, I think there might be a kidnapping,
A dog napping?
Yeah, so you say no, it's a model.
Although
Your dog is ugly.
although I was walking her the other day, and I think I misnamed her.
What do you mean?
Well, I've started on my own calling her Anna Nicole Smith
Oh, no.
because she's blonde and squishy, and she shakes her ass when she walks. So when the kids aren't around, I call her
and,
Anna Nicole
and she's
Smith.
addicted to drugs.
You think
And,
about
and will marry a rich old man.
the
big
things that
squishy blonde.
the things that you think about.
That's what I think.
They're not healthy.
No.
No, and they're the product of a. It's too late. Your mother just did it, and there's nothing to do about it.
Anna Nicole Smith is a good name for a dog.
No,
I wish
no,
I'd named
Gina,
her that.
It's not Rover, Spot, Pal, maybe. Not
No.
Anna Nicole Smith.
The slime in the kombucha is called SCOBY.
Yeah, that's what how you make kombucha. You get a SCOBY from someone, and you can make it. And I did that once. Our friend Kristen Young years ago. This was kombucha tea she was brewing, and she said, "You want to try it?" And I said, "Sure." And she gave me a SCOBY, and I put it this big booger, and I took it and I put it in my basement, and I forgot about it, and it spread all over this storeroom. It was disgusting.
You shouldn't grow a drink.
It was a mushroom.
What's your sign off for today? All right.
What are we doing here?
We got to do a thing.
Oh, wait a
Then
minute.
then we got to start the show.
Okay.
Do you need a minute?
No,
to-
I wasn't sure. I don't feel well. All right.
Ranlife.com.
The Rand Life Civil Service Grant is a thank you to the community from the good folks at Rand Life.
Oh, nice.
This is a grant that they offer to firefighters,
Oh,
police officers, first responders, and teachers K through 12. It reduces your closing costs when you're purchasing or refinancing your home. Rand Life would like to offer this civil service grant. They can be used to pay the costs or reduce your already low rate, your monthly rate.
well, that's nice of them to do that.
It is. Also, Rand Life has a no down payment option. That's a no down payment option and really affordable payments. So if you have a New Year's resolution or just say, this is the year I'm going to buy a new home, contact our good friends at Rand Life. It's the time to do it. Get on the phone with one of their professionals who can help tailor a plan for you at Rand Life. Rand Life, 801-478-4500, 478-4500, or randlife.com.
If you didn't submit your film to the Radio from Hell Film Festival, it's too late.
Make your plans now to join us at 50 West Club and Cafe on Wednesday, February 21st at 6 p.m.
All right, now what?
This is Utah Word of the Day. That's
From what year? Do you have any idea?
94, I want to say.
94.
1994.
Let's see. Here we go.
Today, we examine another group of words used by most Utahns called L words, or words that end in ELL.
Oh, yeah.
And to help you with today's lesson, each time an L word is used in the following dialogue, a bell will sound. Imagine, if you will, our two friends, LeVar and LeGrand, together in LeVar's trailer house. The TV is on. A conversation ensues. Again, these are L words.
I love this TV show.
Yeah.
I am so glad that someone is showing the reruns of McKell's Navy.
Me too. You know, I would just love to set sail with McKell myself. Hey, you remember the one when the wacky crew of PT Boat 73 tried to save that beached well?
Oh, yeah. They had a hard time because of this big storm.
Yeah.
Gale force winds and hell stones the size of golf balls.
Yeah, yeah.
But they saved that well anyway. McKell did not fell.
Well, no thanks to Gruber. Yeah, that was quite a tell, though. Hey, listen, give me some of them snacks, would you? I'm hungry.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
What?
Trell mix.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like this, LeGrand, but Trell mix makes me thirsty for just one thing.
You're not gonna be drinking beer in front of me, are you, LeVar?
Oh, no. I'm gonna have me a glass of L.
L is beer.
Yeah, but this is pretty mild. It's that Pell L from Squatters. It's so mild I can drink a whole bucket of it.
You'd get drunk if you drunk a whole Pell of Pell L. Then you'd get throwed in jail. And I'd have to bail you out. Oh, hey, looky here what I got in the mail. It's a flyer from Deseret Book. It says here that Dan Quell is coming to town to sign copies of his new book.
Boy, the liberals sure rode Bush and Quell out of Washington on a rel.
Sure did.
They fought tooth and nail, but it wasn't enough. Hey, I hear that this new book of his really lifts the veil of secrecy about Washington life and what really went on. You know, I'd like to see him. What Deseret Book is he at?
Well, the one by that big jewelry store.
Big jewelry store. You mean Morgan's Jewelers?
Nope. Zell's.
There you go.
That's back when we had this theory that we would beat you over the head with comedy. You know, the way to get you to laugh was to beat you over the head with comedy.
Why didn't we ever learn to edit?
I don't
That's
know.
what I want to know. Also, now, you were shouting, this sucks.
Mhm.
I got to tell you, though, out of all of the Utah Word of the Days, that was the best one.
It was one of the,
Really?
Yeah. It was one of the better ones.
In my opinion, I think that was the best one. Whenever someone says, what's the quintessential episode, I say that one.
I still like Lard Dorothy. That's a gorgeous orange.
I like talking to the manager of the store about the manger scene.
Yeah.
The creche, the manger scene. The manger. I need to speak to the manger about the manger scene.
God. Beat you over the head is
Yep.
right. Even I was getting bored. Sorry, folks. Yeah, that's why we don't do sketches anymore, all right? Anyway.
I love, what's his band? leader's name?
I don't know.
He's a brilliant musician, but I just love his minor interaction with Colbert. He's just always, yeah, or I don't, oh, whoa. I love that guy. All right, time to officially begin the program, and we did not solicit your check-ins. You all saved the check-in feature yesterday by actually calling the show and saving the feature, so you're going to have to do it again. The check-in number is 877-602-9696. Check into the Radio from Hell show. Just tell us what you're doing, what you're feeling. Maybe you can make a short political statement if you like. You can do. It's your time to.
You don't get that anywhere else.
You can just check in and say, hi, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I feel today about life or this. So 877-602-9696, and I believe there's a prize associated with that.
Yeah, from the creator of Thriller comes Odyssey Dance Theater's Purple Rain, celebrating the amazing music of Prince, March 1st through the 10th at Kingsbury Hall. Visit odysseydance.com. Winner receives 2 tickets to Purple Rain on March 10th at 2, and we will give that away to a random checker inner.
And do you have to officially begin to sponsor the beginning of the show?
I do. Well, actually, Bill, you need to because, you should really caffeine up for the opening of the show.
Mill Creek Coffee.
Yeah.
I'll have my Mill Creek Coffee in a moment. I've got my mug there. I've got my thermos. I bring it from home because we just have these pods here, and so I bring real coffee, Mill Creek coffee. I bring it from home, so I'll do that in a moment. Well, all right, let's begin the show. The moon is, it's out there. Oh, there it is. It's let's see, it's 30.9% of full. It's waxing toward fullness, and we will have a full moon on March 1st. But for today, the moon will rise at 10:31 a.m., today being Wednesday, the 21st day of February in the year of our Lord 2018. And this is North America's most felicitous radio broadcast, coming to you from high atop the second story of the, 19-story? 12-story. It's tall.
Sure.
And as befits our status, we're here on almost the ground level. I'm surprised they didn't put us on the ground level. But here we are.
There's still time.
I know. We're doing a move, so we can always do another move, I guess. I'm sorry, you guys are going to have to be broadcasting from the breezeway. But this is the Radio from Hell show, starring the Lords of Morning Radio, Kerry Jackson. I'm Bill Allred. That's Gina Barberi. The senior executive producer of the Radio from Hell show is Richard, waiting for Kerry to die, Stedman. And Dylan Allred, no relation, producing video for the show, which you can see at x96.com/live. And Nick's your buddy, Nick's your pal, is here helping out as well.
All right, let's begin then with the check-ins.
People calling?
Yes, there are those that call him Tim.
Tim.
Hello.
Tim.
Good morning.
Is this Tim the tree guy?
No, I'm another Tim.
Oh.
Hi, Tim. Let me just say, there was a line available. Now there isn't. So, Tim, what are you doing today?
I am headed to open the store. Someone has to do it.
What store?
It's a local grocery store.
Well, please, feel free to say what it is, unless you're embarrassed to be on the show.
It's the store.
Oh, I'm not. It's I'm a little nervous about it. I don't,
Oh, then
I don't want to get in trouble.
Then don't mention it.
Well, you think that the owners of your store might say, we don't want our name associated with those people.
They don't want it associated with me, probably.
Oh, I see. Tim, well, so you open the store. That means you get first crack at the candy.
Absolutely. All the candy, all the donuts, all the bananas.
Yep.
First crack at the bananas?
From donuts to bananas. Your therapist is on line 3, by the way.
Dr. Floyd.
Yes.
You have a key to the cigarettes?
We don't do cigarettes at our store.
There's a clue.
We're a friendly neighborhood store.
I know. Well, you tell Mr. Macy that things are just fine with us.
All right.
Thanks for checking in, Tim.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see. Let's go to Braxton. Hello, Braxton.
Hello.
Hi. What's up with you today, Braxton?
Just driving to work.
Which is where?
Traffic. I work security over at a financial center.
A financial center.
They
need security at a financial center.
Garden money?
The employees, really. I mean, the money's not really there. It's all,
It's all on
database,
computers.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody might want to get to those employees, that's for sure. Are you an armed
Oh.
security guard, Braxton?
I wish.
Well, then you're not that scary.
Yeah. Do you have a taser? Do you have a taser?
No, I got a very intimidating notepad.
A notepad.
A notepad. I'm going to write you up. I'm writing you up.
See this? Permanent record, buddy.
Intimidating
Well, I
notepad.
kind of like that, Braxton. That's good.
All right.
Thanks for checking in
Thanks,
with us.
Braxton.
Not a problem, guys. Have a good day.
Intimidating notepad.
I have an intimidating notepad.
All right.
Many pages.
Chase from West Valley is here.
Hello, Chase.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Hey, what's up with you, Chase? That's why you're calling. We want to know what's up with you.
Well, I'm driving to work right now.
Mhm.
I would have called yesterday and helped save the show, but apparently there were other people that saved it.
Others
So
did, yes.
congratulations to those guys. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad they stepped in. There are those who seem to like this feature, which our consultants have said it's terrible.
And there is a vast conspiracy to try to block the lines so that no one can call in.
I haven't heard this
to,
conspiracy.
To kill this feature.
No, really?
I hadn't heard that.
Yes.
Well,
I honestly believe that people's opinions should be heard, especially on this show where you guys don't give a crap about the regulations. So I love the show every morning. I listen.
well,
Thank you.
So what's your opinion, Chase?
My opinion is that the government sucks, they're wusses, and a lot of the shootings, all the things happening,
Yeah.
some of it is due to the parents who are raising these millennials, bad parenting, drugs for these kids. I honestly don't think any of the problems deals with guns. It's not of the guns, it's of the people holding the guns.
Well,
Guns
that's true.
Just the tool.
That's true.
Well,
All right.
then they should do something about it instead of
Yeah.
just saying what you just said over and over.
Yeah, that's true, Chase.
All right.
You're absolutely right.
Also, I tend to listen to the young people because they're usually right.
Thanks, Chase.
All right.
Thanks, Chase.
Bye-bye. Let's see. We got a lot of Genesee checking in,
Morning.
taking the boyfriend to surgery.
Uh-oh.
His first catheter. Wish him luck. Well, he'll be fine if they put it in while he's asleep.
No, is it a? I guess it's a wiener catheter, not a. Because there are other.
Well, there's a heart catheter. My guess is it's.
And don't they call any kind of thing that they put in a catheter?
I'm
right?
guessing it's the wiener.
The wiener.
Yeah, don't
catheter.
worry. They'll
Yeah.
do it after he's asleep.
Yeah, if they do it, then he'll be fine.
Oh, but when they take it out.
Oh, it's like getting punched in the gut.
Oh,
Tim the Tree Guy checking in. Let's see. Friend of the program, Spanish Fork. Good morning, friends. Do you guys ever hang out outside of the office? If you do, what do you guys do? I see Bill outside of the building occasionally standing out there.
Yeah.
But you avoid him.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. We try not to
Yeah.
see each other outside of the building.
Dave checking in. It's also my birthday. Please give 10% today. Nothing more, nothing less.
Happy birthday.
Ogden Shut In checking in. Stacy from Orem. Teacher Emily. Metal Shop Mark. Okay. All right. I guess we got to do it.
So it's a show?
It's a show.
It's a show. Oh,
we got a
you know
long
what?
day, too, you know.
Yeah, we do have a long day.
Well, see, and I'm not feeling well, so when I get off the air, I think I'm going to go right home. And
But then we got to go out to Fox and see Bob Evans, remember?
I don't have that on my schedule.
Mm.
Crap, I don't want to do that.
Well,
gotta
if you
do
don't go, then maybe it'll only be 2 questions as opposed to 3. I don't know how this thing
It's
works.
3 questions with
time
Bob
are we doing
Evans. 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we got the film
The film
festival tonight.
Yeah, please join us for the Radio from Hell Film Festival tonight. Doors open at 6. There will be alcohol and entertainment and
food, yeah.
And food.
$10.
But I said it in the important order of my importance.
Yes.
Alcohol, entertainment, and food. And then you can sit and watch these short films that people have made. And,
All right, we got big boy news, Pinuendo, things that must go, all coming up next. And Amy is going to call us from South Korea at 7 o'clock so she can tell us about what happened at the games in the future. But first, Gina, Black Velvet Boutique.
So it was just Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
It was?
And
when is that?
What was the 14th.
Okay.
But maybe you didn't get a sexy time gift for Valentine's Day. Maybe you are alone and you need to buy yourself a sexy time gift. You can do that at Black Velvet Boutique. Show your appreciation for your sexual partner or your sexual self. It'll strengthen relationships on many levels, including in the bedroom. And if you're not involved with anyone right now, treat yourself to something special from Black Velvet Boutique. Learning what you like sexually is the greatest present you can give yourself. Now, Black Velvet Boutique, they're at 293 South State Street in Clearfield, open 7 days a week, owned locally, staffed with some great, caring, easy people to talk to. Now, you can go in and shop anonymously if you don't feel comfortable talking to people, but you should feel comfortable talking to the people that work at Black Velvet Boutique. And X96 listeners get 20% off. Open 7 days a week, 293 South State Street in Clearfield, Black Velvet Boutique. Oh, traffic. Crash on the connector ramp from northbound I-215 West Belt to go eastbound I-80 into Parley's Canyon. Crash involving a semi and a car blocking both eastbound and westbound lanes of travel on the 201 freeway south of the frontage road at 3200 West. And looks like that's about it. We've got a little bit better situation this morning than we had yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
X96 is Utah's original alternative with a 1-hour nonstop music wingding coming up right after Radio from Hell.
From the creator of Thriller,
Graham, Bill Allred, and Gina Barberi on X96.
All right, 6:34. We got things that must go coming up in a moment, but first, big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by.
Try a Subway Starting 5 fresh value meal featuring the favorite subs of the Utah Jazz starting lineup and enter to win a VIP suite experience. Go into Subway, find out how to enter.
We begin the news with something sad. I'm sorry to say that based on my comments yesterday when I told the story about seeing photos of myself down at Bryce, and I said, I look terrible. And my wife said, well, you're the one who decided to grow your hair out.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she thinks it's just my hair that I'm reacting to, and it makes me look terrible. Angie Wood Murray tweeted at me, I guess looking at one of the photos of me, you're right, you don't look good.
Well,
not sure it's the hair.
Oh!
So thank you.
What does Angie look like?
Angie.
She's probably no winner.
Wood Murray.
Was tweet, you say?
That was a tweet at Angie Swanson. Is her Twitter.
Does she use her actual photo for her
I guess so.
avatar, or?
I think it is.
Yeah.
She looks okay to me.
Yeah.
Looks like a nice person with glasses. And except she's got, as I recall on, I don't have it right in front of me, what is it called? I'm sorry if I offend you with this, but all of you stupid people who put the animal ears and the animal noses on your pictures on Instagram and Twitter, this looks really stupid, and you should quit it. And she's one of those people.
She's one of those people.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's just Angie. I'm sorry, but you're probably right. I don't look so good, and it's probably not the hair. Also, tragedy. He was old. He was wise.
Was he?
Yeah, I think so, Carrie.
Yeah.
The oldest captive polar bear in the United States has died.
Oh, okay.
Gone to that giant iceberg in the sky.
I thought you were going to talk about the other one.
I will.
Okay.
Philadelphia zoo officials announced that 37-year-old Goldilocks, the polar bear,
I love that.
I knew you would, had to be euthanized after her health took a nosedive. The beloved bear showed worsening changes in her behavior, her appetite, amid a variety of age-related health issues. That's what we'll look for in Gina. Changes in behavior and appetite.
It's already happened.
I think it's starting to happen, isn't it? Goldilocks was born December 13th, 1980 at the Seneca Park Zoo in Rochester. She had been in Philadelphia, though, a year later after that. She also dying in captivity. Billy Graham, who I thought for sure was dead a couple of years ago at least. Billy Graham, America's pastor, they called him. Dead at the age of 99. Gina was saying, do they really have to say when he's 99 that he died of natural causes?
That's what I read.
But Gina,
died of natural causes.
Yes, they do. He could have been hit by a car, struck by lightning.
I don't think so.
Could have been a poisoning.
No.
Could have been any number of things, but in this case, it was natural causes. Billy Graham, dead at the age of 99. So all of you people who are reacting to the shooting in Florida in ways that are not helpful are asses. And I can't stand you.
I thought you were going to make this a boner candidate.
I don't think I did because I'm trying to not do that kind of thing for boners these days. But Dinesh D'Souza.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me I don't know who that is.
He is a sort of a filmmaker, sort of a...
He's a right-wing...
He's a provocateur.
Yeah, he writes books that are filled with lies and makes movies that are filled with lies. Because that's the only way he can get his side to win is through lies.
Mr. D'Souza posted a photo from the AP of school shooting survivors, kids watching lawmakers vote down a bill in Florida to ban semi-automatic weapons, ban AR-15s. They went from Parkland, Florida, where they were, up to Tallahassee, on a bus to hopefully change the lawmakers' minds on this gun control issue, and the lawmakers ignored them and voted down this bill.
They didn't.
And
No, they didn't even vote down the bill. They voted down even discussing it.
Yeah.
And Mr. D'Souza posted a photo of some of the kids in the gallery crying and said, "Worst news since their parents told them to get summer jobs."
I don't know how to not swear.
I actually responded to that. I normally don't, but it made me so mad.
I don't know
that
how to
I
not
said,
swear.
I'm sure me adding that you are a complete a-hole will have no effect on people of your ilk. So.
Yep.
It's
You stink!
It's
What's wrong
it's
with
stunning.
people?
What? I don't know. But the Florida House did declare porn a health risk yesterday.
That's the real risk.
The Florida legislators, where the gunman identified as Nicholas Cruz opened fire on the grounds of the school there. I don't need to go into the details. You all know. Surviving students from the school watched them from the gallery yesterday. The Florida House voted down a motion to let legislation that would ban assault rifles and large-capacity magazines proceed out of committee. Nope, I'm not going to discuss it in the full body.
Not even going to discuss it.
It was a 36-71 vote. Democratic sponsor Representative Keone McGee argued that the legislation would be essentially dead for the remainder of the legislative session unless they brought it out of committee, but they said, no, we're not going to bring it out of committee. It was heartbreaking to see how many voters' names were up there, especially after it was my school, said 16-year-old Stoneman Douglas Sr. Cheryl Aquafori. It seemed almost heartless how they immediately pushed the button to say, no, we're not going to vote. But they did pass a resolution that declared porn a health risk.
Well,
guns not a health risk.
No.
Porn a health risk.
Again, I don't understand. I don't.
Actually, I do have a boner candidate that's sort of along that line coming up. Here in Utah, the Utah House did a good vote. We'll see what the Senate does with it, but the legislators passed House Bill 148, which would do away with all sales taxes on food. There is a current 1.7% sales tax on unprepared foods. It would raise the state's portion of sales tax on everything else from 4.7 to 4.92%. So sales taxes on other things would go up slightly to kind of offset it. Mm-hmm. But I think that's okay.
We had this for a time. Remember when
Briefly.
John Huntsman was our governor for a minute?
Mm-hmm. He got rid of the sales tax on food, and then, but then I think before he left office, he did negotiate some of that away. I think he was the one who actually negotiated. You'll have to look up the history of it, but there was a time when we didn't have any sales tax on food. Then it got put back, but at least the House is saying we should take it away entirely. Those who say we shouldn't have sales tax on food are correct. It's a regressive. It's a regressive tax. It hurts the people who need, who can afford the food, who can afford food the least.
Yeah.
A bunch of other stuff, but I guess we got to take a break.
No, they did it after John Huntsman didn't do it. They did it after he was gone.
Yeah, okay. Sports weather traffic.
Well, Kirstie Alley's in trouble.
What?
Fat actress? What's the matter?
Well, apparently she thinks.
What did Commander Savick do?
She thinks curling is boring.
Well,
and she was tweeting about it, and she has riled up the curling community.
Because she's the first person to ever accuse curling of being boring.
No, I think
they've never been called boring before until Kirstie Alley.
I think she was referring to a beauty process on hair.
Nope, she's talking about the Olympics.
Okay.
And Twitter fired back and said, "Oh yeah, it's boring.
You're boring.
Your movies are boring." Actually, they said, "Look who's talking." Get it?
Because she
and the
did
thing
that.
in the
yeah.
Was she in that?
Mm-hmm.
That's sports.
Was she in Look Who's Talking too?
Yes.
That's
With her
interesting. I didn't
fellow
know that.
Scientologist John Travolta.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
We'll have real sports with Amy Donaldson coming up in about 15
That was about
minutes.
a talking baby, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't ever see that.
Well, the baby didn't actually talk. You just heard his thoughts, and it was.
I see.
Well, wait. So we were able to hear his thoughts,
Yeah.
but they weren't?
Yeah.
Well,
And it was
no.
Bruce Willis.
Well, then it was wrong. Then that title is wrong.
Yeah.
It's Look Who's
Look
Talking.
whose
thinking.
thoughts we can hear.
Yeah.
Well,
Look
that's
who's
not a
psychic. You, the audience.
That's not a good title for a movie.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have been. I might be okay.
Travolta,
huh?
Yeah. Weather, it is bitter cold right now. 16 degrees.
Was it a comedy?
Yes.
Okay.
35 for a high. Cold with some sun, partly cloudy.
Which one was funnier? One or two?
I think they were equally unfunny.
Oh, okay. Did you laugh at all? You saw them both, apparently.
A million years ago.
That's no excuse.
I don't quote the movie. You know how
Okay.
I quote comedies that I like?
Yeah.
That's not one.
Jeez, do I know.
That's not one that I go to.
Okay.
A little bit of traffic quickly.
Sure.
Crash southbound 15 at the Park Lane exit in Farmington. Cars are on the left shoulder, causing delays into Kaysville. Crash on the connector ramp from northbound I-215 westbound to go eastbound I-80 into Parley's Canyon. Wreck your ride. Trust Everest Collision to put your needs on top. Download the Everest Collision app and start your claim. They'll take it from there with locations in Salt Lake, Sandy, Tooele, and Ogden, or go to everestcollision.com.
Are there any plans for a third one?
Another one?
Look Who's Talking? Or Look Whose Thoughts We Can Hear?
There might have been 3. I don't know. You're thinking way too much about this.
Was there 3?
I don't know. I'm going to look that up.
All right.
Do we have to do something here?
Yes. Is this sponsored?
Things that must go, brought to you by National Auto Plaza. Who builds the best trucks? National Auto Plaza does. Lifted accessories you haven't even thought of yet, all to take your next adventure to a whole new level.
Things that must go on the radio. From Hell Show.
These are things that are bugging you, dear friends of the program, things that you really would like to leave your life. So what you do is you write an email to us. You put must go in the subject line. You send it to radiofromhell@x96.com, and you list all of the things that you think that must go. And if we read it on the radio, well, maybe, just maybe, those things will go. I'll begin today. I have a couple of my own must goes. Look Who's Talking 1 and 2.
Apparently there was a 3.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know about 3 yet until we delve into it, but I know 1 and 2 must go. Also, silverware, like you go to a restaurant and they wrap the silverware up in the napkin. It's particularly difficult with a cloth napkin. They got it all wrapped up in there, and so you start to unwrap trying to get to your silverware, and you can't quite, and you go, so finally you go like this, and it clatters all out onto the table. It must go. And also, I think restaurants that have silverware wrapped in paper napkins already on the table.
What's wrong with that?
Because the paper napkins are useless. They're just useless. That must go. Also, this is from Tony. Says, bonjour.
Bonjour.
My thing that must go, the Central European woman seducing the Persian leader of my Francois club. He was so helpful, so fun, so open to so many things when he was not playing sports. Now his first love is replaced by this distracting femme fatale. Instead of playing le football, who will lead our group with vocabulary practice and crepe parties or wine and cheese kickbacks? Mon chéri, Monsieur Tran. I don't have any idea.
A French club.
What that was about.
Drama in the French club.
Teacher Emily here. My must go is the older guy at the gym who thinks it's okay to spit and hawk loogies on the side of the pool at the gym after his laps. Other people at the pool, A, don't want to listen to that, and B, swim through your loogies.
Swim through the loogies.
It's gross and awful. Also, my students using their brain power to try to figure out, is water wet, instead of doing their work. Giant sigh. And then this from Kay. Good morning, Lords of Morning Radio. My things that must go. Courier New and Comic Sans fonts. Nothing is more unprofessional than the eye strain that are these fonts. Either type with Times, Arial, or Calibri. If you proceed to write in Courier or Comic Sans, I hope they use it on your tombstone so that all of history can mock you at the cemetery.
You feel that strongly about fonts.
My wife does. This could be her.
She has strong feelings about fonts?
You don't even mention hobo in
Really?
front the font hobo. Let's see. The racist relatives must go. Just please, it would ease my IQ at forced holiday gatherings. Older people telling me, quote, "My generation is entitled and lazy." I agree that people can be lazy, but they're in every generation. We're not entitled. If anything, we're cynical because we're stuck with prior generations' crap they left behind to fix later. Anybody who thinks that Mitt Romney will be a better replacement for Hatch, I can't even begin to roll my eyes at how asinine that is. I could go on, but frankly, I have a midterm to study for in between a full-time job and going to school full-time. Sincerely, the disgruntled biology student trying to study and live off maybe a little more than the ramen noodles. Leave me the bottle. Geek Show says hey, and whatever mantra-like things I'm supposed to say, Kay. Carrie?
All right. Let's see. This one from Chris. I saved up a few must-goes over 6 months. You can use my name as I'm 1,200 miles away from your station. All right. He had a whole bunch of them, but I just kind of went through and picked a few. When I go to see a newborn baby, I have no desire to hold it. Please don't ask me to hold your new baby. Went out for a nice evening at a restaurant, and someone there has a screaming, crying child. Get it out of the place until the kid is calmed down. I don't go to have a nice meal just to be annoyed and distracted for my whole meal by your crying kid. The mic drop.
Yeah.
Just quit.
Yeah.
If you have to tell me how good your joke is by the mic drop, then it probably was not that good. Enough of the, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 12.
But it was really good.
The scale you set is highest at 10, so keep within the scale that you set.
Okay.
Now this one, it's worded confusing, but I think at the end it redeems itself.
Okay.
When people are getting snippy and giving facts and don't use the same nomenclature, it just bugs me. Not sure if it's to be funny or just my dumb friends. Here's the example.
Okay.
Gina ruins the show, but then Gina redeems herself every time she does traffic. So is it the same people saying Gina ruins the show and then, thank goodness for the traffic? I don't know. Anyway. On a side note, I've been listening for about 7 years, and we made our first trip to Utah and Salt Lake this past August to go to Bonneville Speed Week. You guys have a nice little city out there, and with listening so long, I felt like I knew the place without ever being there.
Oh, nice.
So he came here. He's not from here.
So the show works for people who've never been here.
No, Bill, it will never work.
It will never work
That's
outside
what
of
they
Utah.
told us. That's right.
This one from Ben. First thing that must go, friends that don't understand that I have a normal 9-to-5 job. So when they call me to do things at 1, I can't because I'm at work. Then they call every day asking the same thing. Leave me alone.
I have the same job still.
Also, that said friend who wants me to hang out and have a guys' night. He brings his girlfriend. What's the point of guys' night if the girls come?
It's not guys' night.
No.
Guys' night anymore. This from Caitlin. Good morning, lords and lady. My thing that must go is people answering questions that no one asked them. For example, when people say, I could never do your job, that would just be so boring to me. No one asked you if you could do my job, Brian. Brian. Right, Brian?
Shut up, Brian.
You do a lot of things I could never do, but here we are. If you could make this go away, I'd be grateful, Caitlin.
This is from Stacy. I'm reminded this morning of my thing that must go. Frequently on Sunday nights, my 9-year-old son comes up with reasons he can't go to school. They range in severity from believable to absurd, like I have a headache, sore throat, I can't speak, my stomach aches, I can't find my homework, my feet hurt, my feet tickle, I need glasses, my gums hurt. I give him an A for effort with his creativity with some of those, which are going to school. Good morning, and thank you for letting me listen. I work in a clinic as a medical biller, and occasionally I help the front desk answer phones. These are the types of calls that must go. Hi, I missed a call from you guys. Me. Well, did you listen to your voicemail? No. Well, it was probably just an appointment reminder for you or someone in your family. Well, can you tell me what it was? Who are you? I don't know. When I answer the phone and the person on the other end, always a male over 45, says, "Hi, how are you?" Don't make small talk with me. Just state your business so I can get on with mine. Patients who argue with me about a balance because they disagree that they have a large insurance deductible. I don't set your insurance plan. Take it up with your insurance company. Bill's hearty handshake must go.
Ooh.
As a reward for the random boner voter. Here's a better idea.
All right.
I think the random boner voter should be able to ask Bill one question. Richie can pass the question on to Bill, and then he can answer it on the air. I, for one, find the idea of shaking Bill's hand intimidating because he has too many requirements on the etiquette of said handshake.
Well, you do make it complicated.
Well, not so much anymore. No, I just stick out your hand. I'll shake it. Stick something out. I'll shake it.
There you go.
All right.
Things that must go on the radio. From Hell Show.
Was it the same cast for Look Who's Talking 3?
No, Danny DeVito was in 3, apparently.
That's not good.
And I think it was pets.
Like
not
dogs
babies.
talking.
Yeah.
The Roy Gate, I guess, is very congested this morning up at Hill Air Force Base. Thank you, friend of the program, for sending that in at 33986. Crash southbound 15 at Park Lane, exit in Farmington. The cars are on the left shoulder, causing delays into Kaysville. Crash on the connector ramp from northbound I-215 westbound to go eastbound I-80 into Parley's Canyon. That's traffic.
All right.
I gotta get Shamrock Plumbing out to my house.
Oh, I do. I need to call them.
I got a thing that's banging.
A banging thing?
Periodically this thing in my plumbing, and it'll go bang, 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 bang. It just,
Really?
Yeah, I forget what it's
They'll
called.
figure it out.
I need to have them come out and take a look at my flappers
In your
on the toilet because
Yeah.
I think it's leaking.
The other thing I like about Shamrock Plumbing is they come when they say they're going to come.
Pretty much,
How
yeah.
many times have you called for service to come to your house for things and they are late and you sit around waiting all afternoon? Every time I've called Shamrock Plumbing, they're right on time.
Or sometimes they'll call and say, "Listen, I got done early. You want me to come now?" Shamrock Plumbing, they plumb for the Radio from Hell show. 801-295-1690 is their number. You can use them for plumbing emergencies, or if you're looking to upgrade plumbing with water heaters, water softeners, if you want to redo some of the piping in your house, or perhaps you're building a new house.
Yeah.
They could be the
They can
plumber
do
for that.
Big jobs, small
Yep.
jobs. They do it all.
So call them, 801-295-1690, or go to the website shamrockplumbing.net. On this week's episode of the Let's Go Eat Show, we're talking pot, Mary Jane, reefer, gauge, weed. That's right, with Erin Hyatt. She's an expert about all of that kind of stuff, about laws and where you can do it legally and how to do it legally. It's marijuana-centric on the Let's Go Eat Show. You can find us, of course, at iTunes or the letsgoeatshow.com.
I ate a 100-day-old steak.
Good for you.
100-day-old meat?
Good for you.
We
Didn't
went-
even give you any pause at all.
What? No, because there was lots of wine before it happened. So we went to, and I never know how to say it. It's either Veneto or Veneto.
How do you spell it?
Veneto.
Veneto.
But I think
you're
but I think it might be
Italian. You
Veneto.
should. No, it's
I don't-
Veneto. Veneto.
And Joe said it's the best meal he's ever eaten in Salt Lake, and he's eaten a lot of good meals. It's mostly lost on me because cheese, and I'm dumb. But the owner, Marco, came out, and he said, I want to give you this 100-day aged T-bone has the New York strip on one side and the filet on the other, and it's so big the whole table can share it.
Wow!
And he brought it out to the table, like before he cooked it, just to show us
raw meat right here.
Yeah, and it looked like you just pulled it out of the meat counter. It was red, and when he's telling me it's 100 days old, and then he showed us a piece of what he cut off the top of it.
And?
Which was like 2 inches of...
What?
Like green and white.
Where did he have that in his pocket?
No,
did he pull it out of his pocket?
He was just holding it all together. Whatever the rind it creates on it after you leave it out.
Okay.
I wanted you... I'm telling you this so you guys
You're
are
looking
proud
for
of me.
a pat on the back?
Yes. And he's like, now I'm going to go back and cook it.
Come
But
here,
I
come
just
here.
show...
There you go. All right.
So she
I totally ate it.
She's looking for a pat on the back for eating a $50 steak.
It was more than that.
It was. She's looking for a pat on the back.
But 4 people
for
shared
eating-
it. 4 people shared
for eating a $100 steak.
And
it was. I've never tasted anything like it.
It was that good.
And it's not. It's not even like it was steak. It was like it was a whole other.
A whole other level of
thing.
You're looking for a pat on the back for leading a privileged lifestyle.
we were,
way to go!
We were 4 people that shared this one steak. It was. We all just had little bits of it, but.
You way to go, 1%er.
Morning show in Utah. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good, but I mean, come on. We'll take what we can get. X96.
What was that from?
That's from another period.
Ah, all right.
They're the cops in town, the Irish cops.
Of course
they show
they're
up,
Irish
They show up
cops.
about maybe twice a season. And they shine. It's Will Sasso's one of them.
Oh, I love Will Sasso.
Well, let me find my just barely legal Olympic music.
Do we have Amy Donaldson calling from Korea?
Amy is right there. Hi, Amy.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Well, Ms. Donaldson, you got only a couple more days. When are the closing ceremonies? Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. You'll be there for that as well, right?
I will indeed. Yes.
Amy's tired. I'm worried about Amy.
Writing her stuff for the Deseret News, which you can read, DeseretNews.com, or you can go to at AD on Sports on Twitter.
Yes, you can.
So, big news about what's her name getting the bronze?
Lindsey Vonn.
Lindsey Vonn.
Lindsey Vonn was big news. It was the day of the ladies. Ladies just took over.
The cross countries.
Cross country women. I mean, Keegan Randall, born in Salt Lake, but she's one of my Alaska peeps.
Mm-hmm.
She has participated in 5 Olympic Games. She's participated in more events than anybody without winning a medal, and now she wins. 18 events, wins a gold medal in cross country in the team event with Jessie Diggins. So pretty cool moment. And then the women speed skaters, they win bronze in team pursuit, and the women bobsledders won a silver.
Wow. Excellent. Wow. Let me, by the way,
Ladies are running it.
As we're talking about speed skating, please don't bring up one of my boner candidates coming up is North Korean Olympian dick move. So you probably know what I'm talking about in skating, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
The North Korean athlete who you don't know, so don't bring it up. Okay.
Don't. I won't bring it up.
All right.
I will leave it alone.
But Lindsey Vonn got a bronze medal.
She did, and it was. I thought as special a moment as any. I mean, it's. She puts a lot of pressure on herself. She's the best skier, man or woman, that the U.S. has ever produced in Alpine.
Right.
And she's won. I listed it off in my story, like 70-something World Cup titles. I mean, she's just amazing.
She hasn't
and
won.
She's put so much.
She hasn't won a lot of Olympic medals, though, has she?
This is her third.
Third medal.
So she participated in 2002, and in 2006, I don't know if you remember, she got taken off the mountain in a helicopter.
Yeah,
she crashed really bad.
I was just looking at some pictures of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she blew her knee out, I believe, right before Sochi. So she missed those games. But she becomes actually the oldest alpine skier to win a medal. So.
And I watched a little graphic of that particular race, and the time between first, second, and third. Lindsey Vonn coming in third was like tenths of seconds.
Wow.
It was
tenths or hundreds. It's fractions. Yeah,
hundreds.
Same
actually,
as cross country.
Yeah.
I actually retweeted a picture of the finish. One of the timers put up a finish photo of the cross country, which was won by basically 0.19 seconds. So hundredths of seconds we're talking about here.
Yeah.
All of these. In fact, all of them are. Every single one of these races, the 4 races where the U.S. won medals today, all decided by fractions of seconds. I mean, like less than a blink of an eye. It's kind of crazy.
Was it you that was talking about it, or did I read it somewhere that the day, I think that the day of world records being set is maybe over in any sport?
We've gone as fast as we can go.
We've almost gone about as fast as we can go, and that's why that you see these kind of finishes, of people winning just by hundredths of seconds. That it sort of signifies that nobody's going to really go faster and break a record. That makes sense.
Interesting. Yeah, it does, but I don't know that I buy it. We always run into these. I just think people are. I mean, as long as nutrition continues to evolve, if we keep eating, crappy food, then probably.
And as long as we can hide our drug use and. I mean, I hate to be negative about things, but really.
Mask our doping. Yeah, that's actually another controversy brewing. There's another doping. There's 3 doping cases now.
There was a Russian guy I know.
I was going to say, it has to be the
Russian
Russians.
curler.
Why do you have to dope in curling?
It makes you really good at sweeping. He's a sweeper.
Exactly.
You don't know how hard sweeping is.
No, you've never swept.
No.
Swept.
You never swept.
But swept. sweet. But yeah, no, it's and so they're having the executive board meet Saturday and Sunday, and among the discussion items is whether or not Russia can march in the closing ceremonies under their flag. And frankly, I think it's absurd that they're even talking about it.
I think somebody should go to Moscow and put Vladimir Putin in handcuffs because he was behind all of this.
Go for it.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Okay.
Here's my favorite Olympic story. I don't know if you've heard about this, Amy, because the International Olympic Committee, they crack down on marketing.
Right.
Gosh, yeah.
Using anything associated with the Olympics. Well, there's a picture in the Korea Times showing a sales promotion used by Pizza Hut Korea during the Olympics that features the phrase Pyeongchang together. Pyeongchang, very close to Pyeongchang, but it's a phrase that means inflation or expansion. The promotion is offering customers a cheese topping and a bottle of Pepsi for free when they buy premium pizzas.
So that's the inflation.
That's the inflation.
Got it.
And the IOC has been trying and trying to stop Pizza Hut Korea from doing this, and they can't, apparently, because that one letter.
Well, how dare they? How dare Pizza Hut do that? Why would they?
I think Domino's is the official Olympic pizza. I'm not sure.
I'm worried about what you're eating, Amy. Did you find anything other than ramen to eat?
Yeah. Are you eating okay?
I did. I'm about a C-, but I did today. I had some barbecued sliders, which were amazing, and then I had sauerkraut balls, which sounded awful, but they were great.
Wow. What were how do they? Like they put them in batter and deep fry them?
Exactly. And I probably eat anything if it was deep fried, but it had a really nice sauce and some greens with it, and it was amazing.
But Amy, I'm looking at a picture of I don't know who this Olympian is in South Korea. She's that young Asian woman from America who was so charming and won a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Chloe Kim?
Yeah, and here she is. She's eating churros and an egg sandwich and cinnamon toast crunch cereal. How come you aren't?
Well, do you know why that is?
Why?
I think it was the Today Show that fed her, because before she did her gold medal run, she said, "Man, I wish I'd finished my breakfast today."
Oh, I see. That's right. I see. Oh, I see. There's a Today Show mug there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so they made her churros and a breakfast sandwich.
She looks so happy.
I don't know.
We'll let you go.
I know.
Go to bed now.
I will go to bed. Thank you so much.
All right.
Go, ladies.
Good night, Amy.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Amy.
Read Amy's stuff in the Deseret News. You can go to DeseretNews.com or Twitter @AD_on_sports.
This is my barely legal Olympic music.
We got Boners Round 1 coming up. Here are the candidates. Damp panties must be dried.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that one?
Yes.
Boner candidate number 2. Listen, if you try to talk to your legislator, he may have you arrested, all right? And boner candidate number 3, North Korean Olympian dick move.
All right. Traffic?
Crash northbound Bangor Highway at 23rd South. The right lane is blocked there. Crash westbound Foothill Drive at Guardsman Way at 1580 East. The right lane is closed there. Crash southbound I-15 just north of Park Lane in Davis County. And somebody earlier said it's taken a long time to get through the Roy Gate at Hill Air Force Base. Let me know when that clears up. Won't you please text it to me, 33986.
All right, thank you very much. Big Boy News, Opinioendo, and round 1 of the boner voting coming up.
This is very important.
X96 is your home for non-stop music. We give you a 1-hour non-stop music wingding 3 times a day.
Nobody around here has been eating lead paint.
Radio from Hell show on X96. Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
This just in.
Yes.
We will not be doing Hello, Yeah, What at 7:45 because Let Me Speak to the Lieutenant Governor will happen. Spencer Cox will be here at 7:45, and he's bringing the second lady.
Abby.
Abby.
His lovely wife.
Is that the proper term for the wife of the lieutenant governor?
I guess so.
Well, no, I think it's... Well, he's not the second governor. I mean, he's...
So she'd be the lieutenant lady.
She'd be the lieutenant governor's wife. She'd be...
No,
I don't know.
I think it's second lady.
We'll ask.
Because
yeah, well, yeah.
You know, the governor's wife.
First lady, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeanette, that's Governor Herbert's. You know, I can't wait for the day when Governor Herbert retires and he's not so busy, and then my wife and I will be playing canasta with Jeanette and Gary.
You can't wait.
I can't wait.
Having sandwiches?
Just little tea sandwiches and canasta with Jeanette and Gary.
You must all be Republicans.
I love a good game of canasta.
All right.
Whatever it is.
Whatever that is.
My grandparents used to play
Bunko.
it.
No, you play bunko.
Yeah, you play bunko now. All right, time now for round one of your boner voting. 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. And you will decide with your vote which of these 3 candidates is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to Boner Dome for Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it goes up against the winner of round 2. That happens at 8:20. And then we throw them both into the pit for Boner Fight at 9:20. All right? 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
a gift certificate to go see our good friends at Gracie's.
Here's boner candidate number 1. Damp panties must be dried. There is a video with this. I don't know. We have that at x96.com/live. When it comes to airplane travel, there are certain behaviors that are generally frowned upon, like taking off your shoes and socks, doing yoga in the aisle, or eating smelly foods. Yes, there it is, x96.com/live. That's a still from the video.
Is that really what it is?
Yeah, that's a pair of panties. Now, it might be kids' underpants. I'm not sure.
I don't care whose panties
But
they
the woman
are.
was traveling with Ural Airlines from Antalya, Turkey to Moscow. She was recorded holding a pair of white cotton underpants over her head up to the air vent on the plane to dry them off. A fellow passenger on the flight told The Sun, your beloved British press, that the woman didn't seem to be even remotely embarrassed as she held the underwear to the vent for at least 20 minutes. Quote, everyone was looking with interest and confusion, but everyone remained silent. Footage of the incident was shared online. Maybe the takeoff was sort of extreme, and now she has to dry her panties, someone commented. Boner candidate number 1, damp panties must be dried.
There we go. There we go.
Here's boner candidate number 2. There was video and audio with this one as well. If you try to talk to your legislator, he just may have you arrested. An Idaho Republican state senator has been labeled a bully after ranting at college students who traveled hundreds of miles to discuss a birth control bill with lawmakers. State Senator Dan Foreman also has been slapped with an ethics complaint for an incendiary follow-up tweet sent from an account allegedly associated with him. The tense exchange between Foreman and about a dozen University of Idaho students was captured on camera, circulating on social media. Foreman forcefully pointed his finger and belligerently said to the students, "Abortion is murder." The students say, "What? We didn't come here to discuss abortion." Foreman's diatribe was unhinged, said Paul Dillon, Public Affairs Director of Planned Parenthood of Greater Washington and North Idaho, which is affiliated with the student group. Even if you disagree with what we have to say, that's no excuse for that kind of behavior. He was being a bully. The students, who traveled from their college campus in Moscow to Boise to meet with Mr. Foreman and other lawmakers, were in the Capitol to lobby for 2 bills, one that would allow women to receive up to a 12-month supply of prescribed birth control, and another that updates the state's decades-old sex education law.
I don't hear abortion in there anywhere.
Well, see, he's probably one of those people that thinks that birth control pills cause abortions.
No, that's not true.
They didn't just show up either. They had scheduled an appointment, a morning meeting with Mr. Foreman, but the senator reportedly canceled it at the last minute. The students say they left a note and some condoms at his office before moving on to meet with other lawmakers. We drove 7 hours to make our scheduled 9 a.m. meeting with Senator Foreman, they said. Later, they saw Foreman in the hallway, and that's when they started to try to talk to him, and that triggered the exchange.
I got the audio.
Oh, yeah.
You want to hear it? It's short.
Not honoring my commitment to be in a meeting. Abortion is murder. I stand against it. I am a Roman Catholic. I'm a conservative Republican. I think what you guys do stinks.
That is your choice.
You're damn right it's my choice, so stay out of my office.
You shouldn't make it other people's.
Next time you walk in my office, you're going to be dealing with ISP.
I don't think so.
At which point the guard closes the door behind him and looks at the camera and goes, "Ooh."
He threatened, if you didn't quite catch it, to have them arrested.
Yeah.
He's a legislator. They came to lobby him, and he threatened to have them arrested.
And it didn't seem like they were being outrageous.
No, they were being reasonable.
Boner candidate number 2, if you try to talk to your legislator, he may have you arrested. Coming up in a moment, Boner candidate number 3, North Korean Olympian dick move.
All right. Boner candidate number 3 for round 1. Happening after this big boy news and Opinioendo, brought to you by.
It's the best season of the year. Not summer, not pumpkin spice season, definitely not tax season. It's seafood season at Del Taco. Swing by and stock up on 2 beer-battered fish tacos for only $4 at Del Taco. It's unfreshing believable, limited time deal price, and participation may vary.
Our mystery consultant, by the way, the all-knowing Sue, when referring to Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox's wife as the second lady, our consultant who knows these things says the term the second lady is fine in most states in the union, but in Utah it becomes problematic, #polygamy.
Oh, that's a problem.
China has launched a crackdown on a phenomenon which just won't seem to die in rural areas. They've kind of eradicated it in the cities, but funeral strippers.
Excuse me?
The Ministry of Culture said last month that it was targeting striptease and other obscene, pornographic, and vulgar performances at funerals.
There you
go to x96.com/live, a picture of a stripper at a funeral.
Why?
There's a funeral. Well,
the
war on strippers at funerals has been a long one for China. Authorities first began clamping down on obscene performances in 2006 and then launched a second campaign against these performances at funerals in 2015. The latest focuses on 19 cities across 4 provinces. A stripper performs at a funeral. Some communities in rural China reportedly believe that the bigger attendance at a funeral helps honor the dead and bring them good fortune. Some experts also say the erotic shows pay tribute to fertility.
I mean, if you want a lot of people to show up, the best way to do it, open bar.
Well, yeah.
You want
strippers.
I think open bar gets you more people than strippers.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope, not in China anyway.
Listen.
Look at her.
We all mourn differently. So
this is how you grieve.
This is how you grieve.
This is how you grieve in China.
Do I have to arrange for strippers for you guys when you die? Is that
no.
Or is that Richie's job to?
No, but we are going to have one at your funeral.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I'm having a funeral. You'd have to ask Sue.
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
I don't think I am either. There will be no notice of my death.
None?
No one will take any notice.
We'll just show up for work one day and you won't be here, and that'll be the...
Exactly. You'll call my wife and say, "Oh, he passed over the weekend."
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be darned.
Yeah. Well, I'll be darned. Really? Well, he passed, did he?
I almost died once.
Yeah, I think Sue said that we're not having a funeral for me.
It's a waste of money.
Yeah. She said I can't even pick the container that I'm going to be put in.
You should be able to pick your container.
No, her argument is that she's going to be the one that has the container on the shelf, and she's going to be looking at it, so she needs to pick it.
What, Richie? The minute you talk about your death, he comes running in.
He's running in
because he is waiting for you to die.
No, this was more about Bill's. Bill, I cannot pay the proper homage to you if you don't have a funeral. I cannot go
and soil my underwear and
Oh,
have
I
to
see.
change it in the bathroom
Is that
like
what
you
you-
did for Len Allen if you don't have a funeral.
Well,
It's
okay.
true.
You'll
you
just
have to pass on the.
I'm sorry, you'll just have to mess yourself when you call my wife and she says I'm dead. Then mess yourself.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, all right.
With their safety in question in the wake of the February 14th school shooting in Parkland, Florida, high school students across the country are attempting to take matters into their own hands. This is something that we've gone to school with our entire lives, said Elizabeth Love, a senior at West High School here in Salt Lake. We're going to fix it, she said. Students from local schools met Monday to discuss March for Our Lives in Salt Lake City, during which students and supporters will rally on Capitol Hill. The event is just one of many student-organized rallies around the country planned for March 24.
Okay.
That's the anniversary of the Columbine shooting. So,
No, Columbine's April 20th.
Yeah.
oh, that's right.
Hitler's birthday.
Yeah.
Is that why March 24?
There's speculation that's why. I don't know
Yeah.
that they know for sure. But
George Clooney and his lovely wife, Amal.
Amal. They're my favorite celebrity couple.
They are donating.
Look at them. They're perfect.
$500,000, $500,000 to a nationwide protest against gun violence planned next month. This same March 24th meeting, demonstration. Our family will be there on March 24 to stand side by side with this incredible generation of young people from all over the country, the Clooneys said. And in the name of our children, Ella and Alexander, we're donating $500,000. And I'm glad they said $500,000. If you said $500,000, it would sound a little too crass, wouldn't it?
That's
what
what I
we've got it.
I would say $500,000.
To take part in this event. LDS new LDS president Russell M. Nelson.
Yeah, there is the T is silent and invisible.
Speaking Saturday in Las Vegas, a month after succeeding Thomas S. Monson.
Also invisible and silent.
As prophet, seer, and revelator of the church, cautioned the rising generation that your ultimate safety in this life lies in never taking the first enticing step toward going where you should not go and doing what you should not do. Satan turns natural human appetites into desires and actions that derail the best of spiritual intentions, Nelson warned young adults who had gathered for a fireside in Las Vegas. These appetites are absolutely essential, he said, for the perpetuation of life.
Oh, that's
sex.
He's talking about the cess. So what does the adversary, Satan, do, Nelson asked. He attacks us through our appetites. He tempts us to eat those things we should not eat, drink the things we should not drink, and love as we should not love.
Oh, so he's talking about,
He's talking about the gays there.
Yep.
No, I think he's talking more broadly than that. I think he's talking about having the sex no matter what kind of sex.
And that is the discussion that the internet has taken on. Was he specifically saying
No,
the
I think he's-
LGBTQ or
Yes.
just the law of chastity?
No,
and I think there are
Gina?
points to be made for both.
To love as we should not love.
But that could mean having sex before marriage. You shouldn't love that.
It means it all.
That's why I'm saying it's broader than just. I don't think he's excluding homosexuals. I think they're included in that.
Listen.
Satan is real, working with power.
What?
He can tell.
It's just quoting.
Satan is real?
He said Satan
is real.
Is
The
real.
adversary.
He's saying he's real and that he's tempting you, the adversary.
What hymn is that? I love that.
This is Satan is Real by the Leuven Brothers.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
In audio recordings obtained by Mormon Leaks, it's like WikiLeaks, an LDS leader revoked Tirsi Hadlock's temple recommend after she refused to stop talking about her divorce to members of the church. Ms. Hadlock was devastated. Her marriage of 2 decades was falling apart. She felt compelled to reach out to her friends and talk about the devastating divorce. I needed to talk about it, and I was blindsided. I was numb. In Hadlock's search for advice, help, and empathy, her LDS bishop and stake president demanded she stop talking about the divorce. When she didn't, her temple recommend was revoked. Ms. Hadlock was concerned with what she was hearing from her church leaders in meetings, and she recorded 2 of those encounters with her stake president, which is how we know that they said, stop doing this or we will take away your temple recommend. And Richie can attest, a temple recommend is a big thing to
It's a big deal, yeah.
to a person of the faith.
I haven't, so to speak to this story, I haven't looked into it because I don't know what the premise was for the stake president to say stop talking about the divorce. Like, I don't know if her husband was...
What all the details of her talking about.
I haven't looked that far into it. But on the surface of it, certainly it sounds like, wait a minute, that seems
So
weird. Why
I-
can't she talk about a divorce that she's experiencing?
Mhm.
And why would that impact her recommend?
What Richie is intimating here is I suppose she could be saying things about her ex-husband in details that would not be appropriate at church. You know, him and his whore, and that kind of, and then I saw him doing that. It could have been, rather than just talking about her divorce, it could have been talking about it in a way that may not be appropriate in the church setting. And that's I would understand that if that's the case.
But I don't know anything. I don't know enough about it. I haven't listened to the recordings. I haven't.
It doesn't really say.
And that was the other thing in the reporting of it that surprised me is it doesn't say why they cared. Because I've talked about my divorce. We call it what's in my baggage when we talk about it at church every week.
Oh, here's Richie talking about his divorce again.
Yep.
Yeah. You better watch out.
No, listen.
They're going to try and yank your recommend, buddy.
All right.
Well, this didn't take much.
What?
A major component of the divorce was the fact that her husband had an emotional affair with a woman who attended the same ward. So, because they're all in the...
So they felt it was defaming. It was
Someone
revealing
in-
stuff and about... Well, that's tough.
Yeah.
Tough titty, said the kitty. I mean, really.
I agree.
So if she's involved with her ex-husband, I don't blame her for saying, and she's the one who did it. I don't blame her.
But is the church the time and or the place to have that discussion?
Well, I don't know.
think
This
so.
is all y'all's club, and
Yeah.
and you have your rules, and you just work it out.
Well,
all
but
right?
I mean the same thing. Like if someone that I worked with here, like if I had married someone here, I wouldn't think that work would be an appropriate place to be like, oh,
but
hey,
everybody,
yeah, that.
but everybody would be talking about
Well,
it.
Now, Atropos has listened to the recording.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
Of course he
And he says that's not why. They thought it was disruptive to the peace of the ward.
Well,
like I said, it's y'all's club. You work out your rules and figure it out. Weather traffic.
Weather brought to you by climate change. Because people say, well, it's cold now. Why are you bringing up climate change? Because it's still weird. 16 degrees right now. Will be up to 35 for a high and partly cloudy skies. Traffic, the exit ramp from southbound I-215 to 45th South is closed due to a car fire. Find an alternate route on the East Belt into Holiday. Crash northbound Bangor Highway at the 201 freeway ramps. One car blocking the right lane. Traffic backing to 24 South. Crash on 5th South at Guardsman Way. The right lane's blocked both westbound and southbound. Use caution. And move to the left. Haster Games has the best selection of the latest board games, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons & Dragons, and more. It's a great place to stay and play. Remember, Haster has it 6831 South State and online at hastergames.com.
Follow up, Atropos says the husband was not punished for the inappropriate affair. He was also allowed to ordain his son. Afterward.
Well, that's a problem. But, I mean, he wasn't talking about it. He just had an affair and
just don't talk about
and
it.
emotional.
Just don't talk about it and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
All
right. Here's boner candidate number 3, North Korean dick move. You really should see this. I'll try to describe it. We have a photo of it at x96.com/live, but there's a GIF, or GIF if you prefer, of this that you can see. I tweeted it at RFH Bill. It's a North Korean speed skater who right at the beginning, this is at the Olympics, right at the beginning of the race, he falls down. So he reaches out and tries to grab the skate of the guy in front of him and trip him.
Oh.
He's
Oh,
not
there he is.
successful.
Look at that.
Yeah. And in the
Jerk.
And in the GIF, you can see it very, very clearly. Now. It says here, and this was posted on Reddit by a guy named Dick from accounting, who says, "Don't blame the skater, blame the rules of short track." Oh, this is somebody commenting on Dick's GIF. Don't blame the skater, blame the rules of short track. If a skater falls by themselves at the start of a start, then tough luck. But if a skater falls and causes another skater to fall or stumble at the start of the race is stopped and they could do it again. So that's why he did it.
He wanted a do-over.
He wanted to do over.
Still,
it's a dick move.
Dick move.
And by the way, they did start the race over, but they disqualified him.
Good.
They said,
Jerk.
We're going to start the race over. You, buddy, are out. Boner candidate number 3, North Korean Olympic dick move.
All right, so let me speak to the Lieutenant Governor coming up in about 5 minutes from now. So get your questions ready. Get in line now so that you're not scurrying at the last minute and unable to get in. If you want to ask the Lieutenant Governor a question, get ready. But we're going to vote for your boners right now, too.
877-602-9696 is the number for the boners and for the governor.
All right. So let's review the first two boners and vote.
Boner candidate number 1, damp panties must be dried. It's a woman on an airline spending about 20 minutes drying a pair of underpants in the vent over her seat on the airplane. Boner candidate number 2, if you try to talk to your legislator, he just may have you arrested. This Idaho legislator, some kids from a high school, or it was a college, I don't remember, traveled a few hours to go to the legislature in Boise to lobby for some birth control measures and sex education measures through Planned Parenthood, and he wouldn't talk to them. As a matter of fact, he confronted them in the hall and said, "Leave me alone. I don't believe in birth control. You're baby killers, and I'll have you arrested if you come around here." And then boner candidate number 3, simple, North Korean Olympian dick move.
All right. Time to vote for round 1 of your boner voting. You got to decide which of these 3 is the worst. Which of these 3 deserves to go forward to boner fight and get a 50-50 chance of becoming boner of the day? 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one you think should win. Put it in the message of a text and text it to 33986. Or you can call, use your voice, 877-602-9696. Or go to x96.com and look for the box that says February 21 boner voting. All right? Now, you got 300 seconds to do it. Now, once we get done, start lining up with your questions for Let Me Speak to the Lieutenant Governor. Okay? Here we go.
Broadway Media is a great company, and we provide them service all the time.
You know, producing a morning show, our hosts get up at 3 in the morning. They start gathering stories, and I got to print them out. I got to get them. Not having the ability to print something made it virtually impossible to do my job.
Well, Punk, let's get to the movie review, shall we?
There we go.
That's why nothing to spend in the summer in and out of health facilities, like 18 Fingers of Death.
Tell us who stars in this opus.
Well, this is the only movie that's better than 17 Fingers of Death.
Yeah.
It stars James Liu.
Oh, so this is a sequel then?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's Buford, the down-and-out action hero.
James Liu, okay.
Okay.
And we got Maurice Patton.
Yeah.
He's Ronald Mack, the college student and wannabe director.
Okay.
Lisa Arturo.
Nope.
She's Sushi Q, the Honorable Fortune Cookie CEO.
Okay.
Pat Morita.
Oh, well, there's a name I recognize. Arnold from Happy Days.
So I know this movie's at least a year old, right?
Exactly. Well, I noticed he's got lots of others that are in post-production.
Oh, God. All right.
He's the humble restaurateur. We got Lorenzo Lamas.
Lorenzo Lamas.
Yeah.
He's a Antonio Bandana, the singing martial artist.
Okay.
Robin Shue.
It sounds like just a great movie.
Yeah.
He's Jackie Chong.
Yeah.
And we got Charlie George Brown as Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. Okay.
God.
And Kurt Graves as Steven Seafood.
Okay. Tell us the plot of 18 Fingers of Death.
Well, as far as I can tell, this guy starred in 803 of the finest action movies ever filmed, but he's come up with a script for what could be his breakout role. But when the producers back out and pull his funding, he's forced to pull out the "will work for Kung Fu for money" sign and sell his Kung Fu movie memorabilia in order to get enough money to make a movie in 1 week for the Sundance Film Festival.
God.
And they managed to get like about 90 minutes out of this?
Yep.
Jeez.
Oh, 90 minutes.
All right, have you got a scene from 18 Fingers of Death?
Yeah, I thought I'd give you a little Pat Morita.
Okay.
Oh, good. Pat Morita.
There we go.
Mr. Lee, listen, I've always been wanting to know, do you have Chinese Jews? Chinese Jews? Oh, very sorry today, sir. No Chinese Jews. We only have the apple Jews and the orange Jews.
Oh, man.
This is worse than I even dreamed.
Yep. What are you giving this movie, Punk?
I'm actually giving it 3.5 Prozac.
What? It's the pills talking, Punk.
It's the prednisone. I think it's the prednisone. For digging up guano, lining up to fight. You can only fight the good guy one at a time.
That's
you
right.
You have to circle him.
Yeah.
Feathered hair, the drunken bastard, Bong Fu the series, a wicker basket beaten, bow tie in the kitchen, cowboy Fu, a fallen in love montage, an attack midget, and yes, learning to speak out of sync.
Learning to speak out of sync. All right, and what junk food are you going to have while you watch this movie?
I think you need to gather a few Lynn Wilson's meat and cheese burritos with extra cheese and onions. You can mix in the Durkin's French fried onions as you need. A nice meatball hero, some Rainbow Twizzlers, a bunch of Starburst, Reese's Pieces, a bag of Honorable Fortune cookies, and, yes, a nice cold canister of Lost Energy drink.
All right, Punk.
Wow, sounds lovely.
For those of you that are lost.
All right.
18 Fingers of Death.
The movie that's better than 17 Fingers of Death.
Barberi, Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, it's time to award round one of your boner voting.
And round one of the boner voting is brought to you in part by White Chicken Chili.
And Wednesday nights at Gracie's are sure to please play Geeks Who Drink Trivia from 6:30 to 8:30, followed by Breaking Bingo, 8:30 to 10. Win fun prizes, gift certificates, or you could win, wow, $1,600 in the jackpot. Stay for live music, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. with the Nate Robinson Band at Gracie's.
All right, boner candidate number one, damp panties must be dried. It's a woman drying her underwear. It was either hers or her child's. She's on an airplane and holding it up to the vent above her seat. And for about 20 minutes, she went on holding up this underwear, drying it out in the vent. Boner candidate number 2, if you try to talk to your legislator, he may just have you arrested. This cantankerous Republican legislator up in Idaho, where you think Republicans are harsh down here.
Yeah.
They're really bad up in Idaho. He threatened to have these students who had traveled to the legislature arrested if they ever came near his office again. And they were being pretty respectful, as from what I could see, but he's one of those guys. And Boner candidate number 3, the North Korean Olympian Dick Move, the North Korean speed skater who fell at the start of the race and then tried to trip the racer right in front of him by reaching out and grabbing his skate. Let's see. Jessica won the Boner. Oh, it's a Gracie's gift card, apparently.
Oh, nice.
Lovely. And number 2, if you try to talk to your legislator, this is in Idaho, he may have you arrested.
All right. That one is going to Boner Fight. It's got a 50-50 chance of becoming Boner of the Day. It will face down its competitor from round 2. Round 2 will happen at 8:20. Boner Fight at 9:20.
So if you have your computer, I would suggest that you go to x96.com/live so that not only can you see what a dapper dresser our Lieutenant Governor, Spencer Cox, is, but you can also see his absolutely beautiful, charming wife, Abby, who he's brought with him today. Why did you bring Abby with you, sir?
Well, she just happened to be here.
Oh.
So we did an event last night around homelessness and she is on the KUED board. And so I was her plus one at the event last night. I'm kind of her eye candy.
You were Abby and guest.
That's
Now, you are a perfect couple, I think. The way you look together.
Oh.
And I know you
like George Clooney and
Amal. Yeah, you're my second favorite celebrity couple.
Thank you, Gina.
So Abby, tell people when you met your husband, Spencer Cox.
We were in high school. We went to high school together, and he came and asked me if we could switch piano lesson times. That's where we met.
We switch piano lesson time.
Speaking of stories that should never get out.
Couple of nerds.
That's how we first met.
Yeah.
Well, we know why you're here. It's the buddy system. But let's get to some.
Yeah, you never go anywhere without mother.
Speaking of which, I heard that 5 legislators have opened bill files this morning to outlaw strippers at funerals in Utah. All thanks to you guys. So there you go. Your work is done here.
Your work is done.
877-602-9696. If you have a question for the Lieutenant Governor about what's going on in the session. We were talking this morning briefly about the House has voted to get rid of the sales tax on food.
Yes.
Has to go to the Senate.
Right.
What are the chances?
Not good.
Really?
Yeah. I would say fairly slim right now. And the reason for that is they're trying to look at more comprehensive tax reform, and so I think we'll see another bill dealing with larger tax reform, and that may or may not be part of it, but I think it's going to be hard for that bill to get through the Senate. And keep in mind, the Senate has actually sent bills to the House recently to put the sales tax back on food.
Or to raise it.
To raise it. So if you'll remember, there was a large decrease in the sales tax on food. It's lower than the regular
it's
sales
only
tax.
1.7.
Correct, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just find it unlikely, I haven't had this conversation, that the Senate, who's voted to put the sales tax back on food, would remove the final 1.5%.
And the House must know that.
Probably, yeah. I think the House knows that.
But there will be arm twisting, and there'll be people in the House who say, okay, if you're going to send us X bill, whatever it is,
right.
You want some help with that, you should, isn't that the way it kind of works?
Yeah, that's the way it usually works. What often happens with a bill like this is even if people don't think it's a good idea, they know it won't pass the Senate, and so they can vote for it and then tell their folks back home, hey, I voted to remove the sales tax on food. And
I knew it'd never happen, but I voted.
Right. So you see a lot of that, and but I've been wrong before. I didn't think the .05 bill would pass last year, and then it did, much to everyone's surprise. So here we are.
David, can you just hang on for just a second, David? I want to ask, mention. Abby was testified at the legislature about the surrogacy bill. And I don't really know your testimony was very moving, and I think a lot of people, maybe tell the story quickly, and what's the status of that legislation?
Yeah, this bill came up. I I mean, you probably know more about the history of it, but it was, the original bill came out in 2005, and in our experience, I was a gestational carrier for my sister-in-law, and we followed the law, and I thought it was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
It had a lot of protections for both sides of the surrogacy process, and what happened was that they were trying to take away in this new bill a lot of those same protections that they had put in.
Wasn't it aimed mostly at, it was aimed mostly at gay couples is where that all came from, right?
Yeah.
We don't want them have gestational carriers.
Yeah, so...
By the way, I'm willing to be a gestational carrier for any gay couple.
Oh, that's nice of you.
That's very sweet.
I'm not sure that's how it works.
Oh.
Well, right now he's just a carrier, but that's...
But so your testimony was that because you had experienced it and it was a good experience.
It was, and the way the law was set up, it was very protective of both sides. And my thought was, when just on the emotional side of the carrier, you'd think, well, maybe because the law was going to take some away the protections of the intended couple.
Mm-hmm.
But from a carrier standpoint, I felt like it was important to let them understand that actually having that out of, being able to go after this child seemed unnecessary and not actually helpful for that postpartum time when you're vulnerable anyway.
So what's the status of it all?
It's tabled, and we don't see it coming back. So we think it's done for this year.
That's good. That's where. Yeah,
we think Abby and so many other brave women who came and testified, and dads too, that were able to kill the bill, and we're hopeful it doesn't come back next year either, but we'll be watching it closely.
Good. Cool. Excellent.
We'll get to your phone calls, David. Hang on, 877-602-9696. And if you get your questions for the Lieutenant Governor, bring them in.
David's the only one there. And apologize to David and ask him to hang on.
Yeah,
Thanks, David.
We'll also take, texts, questions, 33986.
The exit ramp from southbound I-215 to 45th South closed due to a car fire. Find an alternate route on the East Belt into Holiday. Crash northbound Bangor Highway at the 201 freeway ramps. Crash on 5th South Guardsman Way. And you can use that text number 33986 to report any traffic incidents if you'd like, and I'll pass them along.
All right, thank you. KXRK Provo.
If you didn't submit your film to the Radio from Hell Film Festival, it's too late.
Make your plans now to join us at 50 West Club and Cafe on Wednesday, February 21st at 6 p.m. From celebrities to moms right here in Utah, more and more women are consuming their placentas in pill form.
Don't do that.
Listen, I want you to hear
these. Wait, don't go on. Even if there's something about eating your placenta, you would have to do it the way your dog does it when she has puppies.
Yep.
If there's anything to it, drying it out and putting it in a pill kills whatever good thing you think it does.
Medical expert Gina Barberi, listen to the testimonies of these women,
All
Gina.
right.
The placenta, for those of you who don't know, is an organ that grows inside the uterus while a baby is developing. The placenta gives nutrients to the baby, and some believe...
People are saying, and I'm hearing.
Ms. Barberi, not among them. No. But some people are saying, and I'm hearing, and I have the tendency to believe when some people say and I hear, and then I believe, that it is also capable of giving mom key nutrients even after it, that is the placenta, and the baby are delivered. Quote, so what happens is, studies show that about 72 hours after delivery, once the placenta is delivered, hormone levels drop, said Rachel Talley, a midwife, Gina, and herbalist. Are you either of those two things?
Wow, a midwife and an herbalist.
Are you?
I am neither of those.
All right. All right, then.
Are there any,
I let you take out your credentials and show me.
Are there any doctors or scientists around?
Carrie?
Studies, Carrie.
Studies
say,
herbalist.
according to this midwife,
and a
midwife
study,
and herbalist.
A study could be, you know,
Okay.
I've studied things, and that's.
It takes 4 to 12 weeks statistically, said an herbalist and midwife, for the body to and the endocrine system to start producing these hormones again. So what we're really doing is natural hormone therapy. After Miranda Hansen delivered her second child, she said she felt the despair of postpartum creeping back in. The first 5 days was like a flashback, she said. But after taking her first placenta pill, she says, so here's evidence right here.
Okay.
The symptoms softened in just 20 minutes. It was like this fog that was lifted, she said. It was like a breath, like it was totally like, you know, I could just like feel like it was clear. It was
Couldn't
like
possibly be that you were thinking that would happen, so it happened.
Oh my God, you are so negative. Miranda says she bonded with her baby, got back on her feet quicker, and dropped her baby weight faster after taking the pills. Other moms like Melinda Dratchell also weighed in. I'm a big fan of Western, you know, like modern medicine, she said. I'm all about the epidural, which I know you are, Gina.
Big fan of the epidural.
But she said the placenta pills worked for her. It was a little strange at first when I started
And
talking.
you know they kept the
taking them.
cougars away, and they kept.
Rachel Talley midwife and herbalist, charges. What are you charging for this advice, Gina? Huh?
It's free.
She charges $250. Okay.
How much
and
does she
that's what it's
charge?
worth. And that's what it's worth.
How much does she charge? I'm
That's
curious.
what your advice is worth. Because her advice, midwife and herbalist, $250 for her services. She said a placenta typically yields about 200 to 300 pills. Some hospitals won't release the placenta, but if they do, and if it's handled correctly, the health department said they don't see a risk in consuming your own placenta, but they do caution folks not to share their placenta with somebody else.
Please let me have some of your placenta.
No.
Come on.
No, don't share. No placenta sharing out there. Okay. Rachel Talley, midwife, herbalist, and placenta encapsulator.
And making money off of it.
She is.
Wait, that couldn't possibly have anything to do.
She is a placenta encapsulator as well.
A placebo encapsulator.
Yeah.
On Twitter at RFH Bill.
Oh, you know who I am.
Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, we're back with the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Utah, the Honorable Spencer J. Cox, and his wife, Abby J. Cox. P. Cox. And so any questions you have for the Lieutenant Governor, 877-602-9696. And David has been hanging on a long time, and I'm afraid that we're not going to be able to answer his question. But
Well, I don't know. He may have something.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead,
Oh,
David.
thank you. Hey, just real quick for the Lieutenant Governor here. I was just wondering if the legislators this year are going to introduce any bills to redo net neutrality since all those rights are stripped by the FCC.
So, great question, David. We haven't seen anything that yet. I'm not aware of any net neutrality bills that are out there. Again, it's mostly a federal issue. There are some states that have taken positions on net neutrality, but we expect to see something on the federal level in the next year.
All right.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Simple as that. Thanks for hanging on, David.
All right, let's go to, this is Phil, I believe. Hello, Phil.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for letting
Good
me
morning,
listen.
Phil.
Go ahead.
What's your question?
Hey, I spoke to Nick about how to ask this in a positive way, but what?
We're off to an
I
auspicious start.
Yeah.
And I do have respect for the Lieutenant Governor, and you seem to have picked one of the few good ones to come onto the show on a regular basis.
I think that's what he's getting at.
One of the few good Republicans.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, here comes the butt. Let's hear it.
So what is? Go ahead, just ask your question directly. What do you want to know about Utah Republicans, Phil? Why they are so
constituents?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was the question that Nick asked me. Try not to ask. How do we, as constituents, what can we do to get our representatives to do the actual people's work?
Is there a specific issue that you think is not being addressed?
Well, he's got too many.
Let me count the ways. You know?
Just
I mean,
it's what we've talked about before, that the legislature often does not, here in Utah, does not seem to reflect the will of the people, in that they are much more conservative than the general populace, right?
Not even the will of the people, just basic issues, from pushing. I mean, I don't know anybody that says we need better access to guns, and Mr. Oda constantly pushing, or used to constantly push that issue.
Yeah, he's out now.
We've got corporate welfare, $1.7 million going to energy solutions. I haven't heard one person say what we need in this state is more radioactive waste being stored, 30, 40 miles from Salt Lake City. Air quality is a huge issue. There's just so many issues we have right now. Representative Knoll pushing, and he does so at the end of the day. And Noel trying to sneak bills through.
He's crazy.
To raise our water rates.
Okay, well,
all
right. So
we could be here all day.
Message delivered. So there's a couple ways, and I encourage people, one, to try to engage with their legislator. Unlike the legislator in Idaho that the Boner candidate of the day, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are willing to engage and have those conversations. So start there. Actually contact them and give them a phone call. You'll be surprised. Many of them will actually call you back and have that conversation. Second is, we need people to get more involved in political races. I think that's critical. We have very low turnout in the state, and that's people look at that and say, well, that's because my voice doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't. It's cyclical. I mean, and you, because there's such a low voter turnout, you can actually make a difference, and you can actually get people in there that do represent you. And there is a third way, and that is, if the legislature to a big issue is not responding, there is a way to go around the legislature, and that's through the ballot initiatives. And we have 6 of them this year on topics that have been before the legislature that haven't been addressed to the satisfaction of many people, and they're polling well.
That says a lot, too.
It does, and that's one way to deliver a message. Hey, you guys are not listening to us. This is important to us. Here's 113,000 signatures, and we're going to get to vote on it, and it gets their attention. I promise.
I forget which one of them, though. Which one of those initiatives, and somebody in the legislature said, well, if they come up here with this, I'm got a bill ready which will negate it.
Yeah, and so we've heard that. It's never happened before, and I always say judge the legislature on what actually passes both houses, the House and the Senate, than what people talk about. Yeah. So proposing a bill like that is one thing. It's another thing to actually get a bill passed that undoes a ballot initiative that passes with an overwhelming support of the majority of voters.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. All right, let's go to Brighton. Hello, Brighton.
Hi, how are you going?
Good.
Go ahead.
What's your question?
So I was just wondering, with Oklahoma changing the 3.2 alcohol laws, and then being 50% of all 3.2 beer sales, what that, or if Utah is thinking of changing the laws, or
Yeah.
what's happening
Why don't you hang up and listen, Brighton, because your phone's kind of
Yeah, thanks, Brighton. So there is a proposal to change the beer laws in Utah. I'm hearing it doesn't have a great chance of passing. So we're still going to be one of the few states left on the 3.2 standards.
It probably is not going to become a huge issue this year, but next year, maybe if Budweiser, or what is it, InBev or what it's called, says we're not going to make 3.2 beer anymore.
I thought they already said that, didn't they?
They may have.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still supplying it. So, but
I don't think they've made a decision for sure, but I know they're talking about it.
And if what is it, Kansas or Oklahoma, if they drop off,
Oklahoma,
then they will
the big one.
They'll definitely stop.
Yeah.
So. That's gonna.
It might be a good idea to get ahead of the game as opposed to playing catch up.
You don't want convenience stores and closing all over the because that's their
huge.
That's their bread and
huge
butter.
profit. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Brighton. Let's go to Dan quickly. Hello, Dan. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I had a question about the proposed international terminal that is going to go in the west part of Salt Lake City. What is that exactly? What does that mean? Are you going to set up a new port authority?
No, great question. So an inland port, I think, is what you're referring to. And there are a couple states that have done this. And basically what it allows you to do is transact everything that you would do at a port, but be able to do it here in Utah. So the transaction's done, the paperwork is done, and then you can ship directly from here to California, loaded on and overseas. It helps in many ways. It brings business to Utah, it brings international business to Utah. It allows commerce to move more freely once it does get to a port in California or wherever you're shipping, and could be a really big deal economically for the state. Has the support of Republicans and Democrats alike, and to be able to do that on the northwest quadrant is the area we're referring to, out by the airport and where the new prison is going to be done. So it's a great thing and something we should look forward to.
I'm just hoping for a duty-free shop. Is that what? Does that mean we'll have a duty-free shop?
I guess potentially it could. Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Bill, you have to be traveling somewhere to go.
Yeah, that's.
I'll
you can't
do
just go out there.
I'll travel just to do it.
I'll do it to save $1 on wild turkey. I'll do that.
There's a Seinfeld episode in there every once in a while.
All right, thank you, Dan. Let's see. Quick questions. When's that Tesla dealership going to be allowed to open?
There's another Tesla bill that is moving through the process right now, and I have heard it does have a chance of passing.
Really?
So I'll fingers crossed. We'll see. So
are they still being? Is the legislature still saying electric cars are going to have to pay more because of they don't buy gas? And
that is still on the table as part of the broader tax reform that's going through.
Doesn't help the air quality.
It doesn't help the air quality.
But they drive on those roads, Bill, and who do you think pays for the roads? The gas tax.
This is also true, and so
I'm just being the other side.
You shut up.
So
we're the legislature.
The question is, it's a fairly nominal fee. It's going to be about $150 that you would pay, and the question is, will that change the number of cars that are actually sold? And statistically, looking at the numbers, they don't think so. That if you're going to pay that amount of money, you're not going to not do it because you have to pay an extra $100.
I mean, that's a good point, really. If I'm set on buying an electric car, a Leaf or a Volt or a Bolt or whatever they are, then maybe. If I'm set on that and they say, well, you got to pay an extra $100 because that's your road fee, your road use VAT. Maybe you go, okay. Well.
No, it seems like you're excluding. It seems like you're picking on people.
That's why I don't like it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair.
Yeah.
My car does the same amount of damage to the road that yours does. Why am I paying extra?
Well,
because you don't pay it in gas.
I mean, people paying gas are paying for the road damage, and so that's the idea. In fact, that's how they came up with the number. Was they took the average life of a car, the average gas usage of a car and what you would pay in taxes over time.
Mhm.
And then they did half of that. I think it was $300. And so.
Quick, Jim DeBackus is leaving.
Yeah, yeah,
That's all.
really
Any
surprised by
comment
that.
on that?
Well,
Or
hey,
he's
look,
he's a colorful and fun part of
he
the
is,
Utah
and
legislature.
he's been an essential part of the legislature. You need people like Jim there, and
Yes.
and we're dear friends, and I was sad to see that he wasn't running.
Yeah. Spencer Cox, against all best advice, we tell him if he's
Still here.
ever thinking of running for governor, he really shouldn't be coming on this show, but he does anyway. So, and it's always nice to see you, Abby. Spencer's
Talk some
wife.
sense into him, Abby. Would you?
Tell
I'll
him
do my
not
best.
to do this
He's going to
show.
run. He shouldn't be here.
I will do my best.
And would you hang on for just a second after we?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Let's just
Thanks,
something
guys.
else
Thank
here.
you very
Okay.
much. Okay, traffic.
Crash on 78 South 40th West. Eastbound and westbound lanes are blocked, causing delays there. Crash 35th South westbound at 33rd West. The right lane is blocked approaching Bangor Highway. There was an earlier car fire at the exit ramp from southbound I-215 to 45th South. And let me check quickly. Friends of the program saying accident 21st South backed up to Redwood Road. That's one we were just mentioning. But thank you for sending that in to 33986.
All right, we got Boners Round 2 coming up along with Big Boy News.
Here are your boner candidates. Boner candidate number one. You know, we could spend some time and debate gun laws, or we could do something stupid like this. Boner candidate number two. They don't feel good. And boner candidate number three. Fart attack.
All right.
That's what it
Round
is.
2, Big Boy News, all coming up. Stand by. This week we give you a spoiler-free, I can't call it a review really, we gush about Black Panther. We answer your questions. Jimmy interviews the cast of Game Night and a whole lot more.
It is the 23rd century. Humans have left the lowly confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of two such men who, at the age of 19, have answered the call of their general authorities and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders. In this episode, we find an old adversary of Butch and Lehigh planning their demise.
So, bounty hunter, you will bring me Christiansen?
Jabba the Hutt was very fond of his rancor. He would pay me more for a complete set of missionaries.
Christiansen made me look weak in front of the Emperor. Only by turning Christiansen to the dark side will I be able to regain my place by the Emperor's side. Sell him to that slug, Jabba. I have arranged to have the elders meet you on Bespin. There you can ambush them without anyone noticing.
If these elders bested you and the Emperor, how do you expect me to transport them back to you?
I prefer my elders frozen. There is a carbonite facility on Cloud City. That should make transporting them simple.
Have my credits ready. I'll be right back. Here we are, Butch. Cloud City. It sure looks like the holograms they showed us in school.
I don't know, Lehigh. I always get nervous when I stand on a city that's floating miles above the surface. Are you sure this is the right place?
Zone Leader Hanson said that we're supposed to meet someone here named Lando Calrissian, right here on Bespin.
Well, church records on this Calrissian fellow show him to be a gambler, smuggler, womanizer, and a penny stock manipulator. Are you sure this is the guy?
Well, maybe he's ready to turn over a new leaf. Oh, I think that's him right there.
Hi, and welcome to Cloud City. I'm Lando Calrissian. I run the mining operation here on Bespin. Can I offer you a beverage? Perhaps some malt?
I'd love a malt.
Liquor?
Oh, No, we don't drink, Mr. Calrissian. I'm Elder Christiansen, and this is Elder Jensen.
Aye.
We represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You know, the Mormons.
Now, our zone leader said that you might be interested in learning more about our religion.
Actually, no. We have some common acquaintances. I've made a deal with the Empire. Well, they'll leave me alone if I introduce you to this guy over here. Elders, this is Boba Fett. Boba Fett, Elders Christiansen and Jensen there. Gotta go now. Got a city to run. Bye-bye.
Well, Mr. Fett was up? Well, hi, I'm... Hey, I'm all tied up!
Cool toy. I need to get me one of those. We could convert more people if we could just tie them up first.
Now, Butch, I don't think we would be allowed to hog-tie prospective converts. Excuse me, Mr. Fett, could you untie me now?
One down, one to go.
Don't push my companion in that hole!
Whoa!
What have you done to my companion? Is Butch dead?
No, he wouldn't be worth much to me dead. Jabba wants to see him die in person. Your companion is frozen in carbonite. Now, if you would be so kind as to throw yourself down in there, we could get on with this.
You're going to take us both back to Jabba's palace?
No, you have an appointment with Darth Vader and the Emperor.
Cousin Darth? Oh, my.
Hey, get over here.
Sorry about this, Butch, but I need you to do something for me. Oh, I guess you weighed more than I thought in this thing, Butch. I'm sorry, Mr. Fat. I hope my companion, who's now frozen in carbonite, wasn't too heavy. Oh, geez, what do I gotta do now? I better go for some help.
Never leave your companion behind.
Mr. Kenobi?
It is the first rule. You must never leave your companion.
Obi-Wan, come back. I need some help. Oh, well, I guess I can put you on my luggage rack like this, Butch. Come on, let's go. Will Butch be able to serve out the rest of his mission frozen in carbonite? Can Lehigh really find a big microwave to defrost him in? Will Darth Vader ever get his revenge and once again become the Emperor's favorite lapdog? And where does Boba Fett get all those neat gizmos? Tune in next time to hear Butch say... on the next mind-numbing episode of Space Elders!
Jackson, Bill Allred, and Gina Barberi on X96.
All right, it's time for round 2 of your boner voting. 3 news stories. They're examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior, and you will decide with your vote of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to Boner Fight. You get a 50-50 chance of becoming Boner of the Day. It'll go up against the winner of round 1. Boner Fight happens at 9:20. So decide. 2 candidates now, then a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
I Can't Buy It, Gotta Win It Radio from Hell boner t-shirt courtesy of Excel Automotive Repair, Radio from Hell's official auto mechanics. Don't buy a lemon. Try Excel Automotive's $50 bumper-to-bumper used car checkover before you buy. Limit 2 cars per $50.
So boner candidate number 1 is, we could look at gun laws, or we could look at other important issues.
Okay.
But we decided we'd do this.
Okay.
The South Carolina legislature, in particular, a proposed state law in South Carolina.
Proposed.
They're running it in.
Okay.
I believe it's the Democrats who are doing it in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
To establish monetary fines and community services punishment for people who get caught with their pants down on the ground, walking around with them saggy pants.
That doesn't sound like a Democrat thing.
The bill would make it unlawful for a person to appear in public wearing his pants sagging more than 3 inches below the crest of his ilium.
Who's going
his ilium?
Yeah, it's the top of your
hips, essentially. Thus exposing skin or undergarments. Violations would be a non-criminal offense, but violators could be subject to fines. On the first offense, a person would be given a fine of up to $25. A second fine would be 3 hours of community service and a $50 fine, or both.
What? So plumber butt? Are they going to go after plumbers?
No, you know who they're going after.
No, curious. It sounds like a plumber butt bill. They should call this the plumber butt bill.
That's anti-business.
You know exactly who they're going after.
It is a Democrat. Representative Wendell Gilliard, Democrat, Charleston, co-sponsored House Bill 4957, which was introduced this month. He stressed getting involved. He got involved with it because he wants to set an example. We have to lead by example. It is necessary because it's not getting any better. His first he sponsored an ordinance in the city council when he was on a city council to get young men to wear their pants properly.
What? So women can show more than 3 inches of...
You know who he's targeting.
These pants are now down below their knees. You walking around your pants on the ground. Boner candidate number 1. You know, you could do something important, or you could do this kind of nonsense.
Yep.
Boner candidate number 2. Well, they don't feel good. The number of new HIV cases reported in the Philippines has surged over the last few years, according to the country's health agency. In 2007, fewer than 400 new cases of HIV were reported, which that's great.
Yeah.
In 2017, however, more than 11,000 new cases were identified. The Philippines had the fastest growing HIV epidemic in the Asia-Pacific region. At a time like this, a country's leader should encourage safe sex to prevent further sexually transmitted infections. Or he could do what Filipino President Rodrigo Duterte did last week and urge citizens to stop using condoms because, quote, they don't feel good.
Yeah.
The subject arose during a characteristically bizarre digression in a speech to Filipino workers just back from Kuwait. Hundreds of Filipino workers in Kuwait have accepted the Philippines' offer of a free flight home after a Filipino woman's body was found in a freezer of her employer's home in the Gulf state. They got interesting problems over there. Duterte began talking about population growth in the Philippines. Filipinos don't know anything else but guns. 110 million, which is why life is hard, he said. If we were just 50 million, we could manage food. Then he suggested that women use birth control pills or injectable hormones. Pills are free. Don't use condoms. They don't feel good, he said. Then he mimed eating a piece of still-wrapped candy. Here, try eating this candy without unwrapping it, he said.
Oh, boy.
Eat it. That's what a condom is like. Boner candidate number 2.
Yeah.
They don't feel good. Reminds me of somebody else.
Yep.
Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3, fart attack.
All right, boner candidate number 3 for round 2 after this big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by.
Stop buying disposable office printers off the shelf that the Big Box Store has. Get the highest quality commercial-grade printers from Valley Office Systems for a whole lot less than you'd expect. ValleyOfficeSystems.com.
Have you seen the video of John Legend helping Chrissy Teigen into her expandable spandex maternity pants?
No.
It is the cutest thing. John Legend, her husband, helping Chrissy Teigen get on her maternity pants.
They are a cute couple.
It's just darling. I wanted to bring up something really frivolous, and because most everything else we talk about has just been awful. Billy Graham has died. He was 99 years old.
That's enough.
The nation's, yeah.
I mean, really.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just
Come on.
saying, that's more than a good run.
Put him into
Nobody should be sad that Billy Graham died. 99 is
put him into
well
a new,
done.
Put him into a new sleeve, and Olivia Munn has revealed the secret behind her fake but luscious lips.
I'm listening.
You want to know, really?
Well, I want luscious lips.
Let me tell you. All right.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
All right.
I think it's supposed to be a secret, but she wants you to know the truth. Fans noticed that the 37-year-old actress's lips looked plumper. Oh, there's a picture of her. Yeah. No, it's kind of not good, I think. Munn took to Instagram to prove that her pout was the result of makeup and not injections. Well, that's good. Before heading to Tuesday's runway to red carpet luncheon. Man, I went to that one time. It was so fun. Hosted by the CFDA, Variety Magazine, and WWD, Munn documented her makeup artist Mary Phillips drawing on her lips.
Okay.
After speculation of fillers started spreading, Munn put the rumors to rest by showing a video of her wiping off her lipstick. Good, because it's this picture of her here that I have, and I don't think Dylan has it.
Let me look.
Yeah, she looks weird. So if she can wipe that off, that's good. And you can, and looking at it, you can see it's lipstick. But Gina
Gina's suspicious.
Come here.
That's
here.
light lipstick. If those were red, if those were dark.
Here, look. Come here. So here she
Let me
is.
come over and
There's
judge.
her makeup art. Okay, I'll show Carrie the picture there. There she is, just like that. And I don't really care for that look. Now here's her makeup artist drawing that on, and here she is with it wiped off.
Yeah.
So she says it's just a trick.
Yeah, I think so.
It's
Well, I don't know why you do that because they look ridiculous.
No, I don't. She's trying it out.
You're pretty, Olivia. Everybody thinks so. Stop trying so hard.
She's gorgeous, and she doesn't have to try that.
That's my point.
She just has bad taste in men.
Who's she going out with now?
Name a baseball player or
Well, she
football
was with the
player,
football player. She
you
broke
know.
up with him.
It's sports ball people.
Oh, who is
she?
it?
Always dates the sports ball people.
It was Aaron Rodgers for a while.
Yeah. Trying to remember who it is. So Donald Trump wants again to cut energy assistance to poor people who love him.
You know, the ones who voted for him. Yeah.
Well, because bootstraps and
Trump administration is calling for the complete elimination of a heating assistance program that helps keep the homes of low-income families warm. Once again, the program supporters are vowing to fight it. The administration is using the same arguments from a year ago when it tried to abolish the program, saying it's rife with fraud and no one would be left freezing if the program goes away. These arguments are misleading and wrong, said Mark Wolf, director of the National Energy Assistance Director Association in Washington, D.C. The program, known as LIHEAP, L-I-HEAP, Low Income Housing Energy Assistance Program, helps families pay their heating bills primarily in the form of a grant that is sent directly to utility companies or heating fuel vendors.
Okay.
So that's great. Keep doing that.
Well, if it's rife with fraud, like you said, then we have to destroy it. We can't fix it.
Okay, if it's a grant sent directly to the provider, that's not cash they're getting and doing something. Even if they're heating a home, it's not like
Listen, they got to pay for that tax break for those billionaires that they just gave them. They got to cut money. You know.
Carrie's exactly right, though, when you say if it's rife with fraud, then you should fix that.
Yeah.
And make sure there is no fraud in the program rather than just get rid of it. And it is the same argument that I've been hearing the last couple of days, which I can't stand in the wake of the shooting in Florida. What's the solution? Tighter security at schools, armed guards at schools, metal detectors at schools.
Arming the teachers.
No. Yeah. No. That's not the solution. That is just a reaction to a problem. It's not a solution. The Honorable President of the United States.
What are you doing? Don't do
Donald
that.
J. Trump on Tuesday. Gina?
What?
It's fine. Because if you say the Honorable President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, lashed out at one of the 19 women who has accused him of sexual assault or abuse, calling her a liar, and again after she again detailed her story in the media. As a woman I don't know, and to the best of my knowledge never met, is on the front page of the fake news Washington Post saying I kissed her for 2 minutes yet in the lobby of Trump Tower 12 years ago. Never happened. Who would do this in a public space with live security cameras running, he wrote. So if nobody had been around, I might have done it.
To which she said, number one, I didn't say it was the lobby. I said it was in front of an elevator at Trump Tower. It was at a higher level, so it wasn't like it was in the lobby. And she said, please, if there are cameras, and she gave the date and the time, please release those.
Yeah.
That would be very helpful to my case if you would release the cameras there so I can show you.
She is, her name is Crooks. Ms. Crooks said that she met Trump in the lobby of his building where she worked as a secretary for another company and introduced herself. He took hold of my hand, held me in place, then started kissing me on one cheek, then the other cheek. Then he was talking to me in between kisses and asking where I was from, if I wanted to be a model. He wouldn't let go of my hand. Then he went right in and started kissing me on the lips.
And we have him on tape saying that's what he does.
Oh, yeah. That's well,
I
you
can't
can do
resist
that when
beautiful
you're,
women. I just start kissing them.
Yep.
Wrong. B. Only 43% of American kids, teenagers, have gotten the HPV vaccine, which prevents cervical cancer and penis cancer.
My kids have asked for it. Like,
can we have another glass of HPV vaccine?
asked
Could I
for
have?
it.
I like it in my tang. Could I have another glass of that, Mom? It's delicious.
They swear to God they did.
All right.
That's because your husband told him to. Go tell your mother.
Weather, traffic, sports, whatever you want to do here.
Weather, yeah, it's cold this morning. We're in the teens, and it's all the way up to 18 now. 35 for high. It'll be partly cloudy and cold most of the day. I think we're going to get some more snow, a chance of it anyway, tomorrow. Not like we had yesterday, but still a chance tomorrow. Traffic, let me refresh that and give you the most up-to-date information possible. Crash southbound I-15 approaching Main Street in Lehigh. The cars moved from HOV lane to the right shoulder, causing delays there. Crash 78 south, 40th west, eastbound and westbound lanes blocked, causing delays. Crash 35th south, westbound at 33rd west, right lane blocked approaching Bangor Highway. That's traffic.
My son asked me, do you need me to open that package with my kukri?
My what?
Look it up.
I don't know that I want to.
Or, can I sharpen the knives? Boner candidate number 3, fart attack. A low-cost Dutch airliner flying from Dubai to Amsterdam had to be diverted and was forced to make an emergency landing in Vienna after a fight between passengers broke out mid-air. The reason for the fight? One of the passengers refused to, or simply could not, I don't know, quit farting. The pilot of the Transavia Airlines flight decided to make an unscheduled stop in Austria after things got out of hand during the journey. The Daily Mail, your beloved British press, quoting Dutch news outlet De Telegraaf, reported that 2 Dutchmen objected when a flatulent co-passenger seated next to them kept breaking wind loudly. The 2 men pleaded with him to stop and complained to the flight crew as well. However, the passenger continued to fart despite several requests from passengers and the crew. It is still unclear whether he was suffering from some sort of medical condition. A brawl broke out between...
Because there was nothing else to...
When somebody says to you, could you please stop farting?
I punched them. That's what you do.
And Carrie is notorious for farting on planes. Listen, I sympathize with these people. I was on a flight one time, I forget where, and I think it was the person in front of me. You couldn't hear it.
It was happening, though.
Oh, my God. The whole flight. Now, not constant, but every couple of minutes,
can't get away from
there would
it.
just be this, oh, Jesus. Oh, not again. Please, no.
And you can't escape it.
Boner candidate number 3, fart attack.
All right, let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1, we could look at gun laws or something serious, or we could just do this. South Carolina legislators supporting a new state law finding people for having, or men specifically, you know, and probably men of a certain color,
Yeah.
having baggy pants.
We all know who this is aimed at.
Boner candidate number 2, they don't feel good. Philippine President Duterte mocking condom use, saying, and there's a skyrocketing HIV problem in the Philippines, saying they don't feel good. And he had a piece of wrapped candy, and he said, here, try to eat this. It's like wearing a condom. And boner candidate number 3, fart attack.
All right, let's go. This is round 2. You've got to decide which of these 3 is the worst and therefore most qualified to go forward to Boner Fight and get a 50-50 chance of becoming Boner of the Day. Go up against the winner of round 1. Boner Fight happens at 9:20, so decide now. 1, 2, or 3, the candidate that you think should win. Put that number in the message of a text and text that to 33986. You can call 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go to x96.com and look for the box. This is Boner Voting February 21. Vote there. All right, you got 300 seconds. Let's go. Things that must go coming up as well. Stand by.
X96 gives you a 1-hour nonstop music wingding with John Smith, right after Radio from Hell. Allred, Gina Barberi, Radio from Hell on X96.
All right.
Will Sasso needs more work.
He does.
He's great.
8:47, time to award round 2 of your boner voting.
And round 2 of the boner voting is brought to you by...
In part
by a Manhattan.
And Octapharma Plasma, make money by making a difference. New donors can earn up to $300 for their first 5 donations. Donate today, 5414 South, 9th East in Salt Lake.
So we had boner candidate number 1. We looked at our gun laws, or we could look at other important legislation, but no, South Carolina, they think it's important to pass a law that would fine people, men specifically, for wearing saggy pants. Boner candidate number 2, they don't feel good. Philippine President Manuel Duterte mocking condom use as HIV rates skyrocket in the Philippines. He's the president of the Philippines. He says, no, just use birth control. Don't use condoms. They don't feel good.
I could hear Trump saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And boner candidate number 3, fart attack. Not heart attack, fart attack on a plane. Some guy would just refuse to quit farting, and there was a brawl over it, and the plane had to be diverted. Let's see. Lisa Scott won the boner T-shirt, and the winner, boner candidate number 2, they don't feel good. Mr. Duterte wins.
All right. That is the winner of round 2. It will now face the winner of round 1. 50-50 chance to become boner of the day. Boner fight. You will decide who boner of the day is at 9:20. Let's see. Is this sponsored?
No, just dive right in,
All
Kerry
right.
Jackson.
Things that must go on the radio. From Hell Show.
These are things that are bugging you, dear friends of the program, things that you really would like to leave your life. So what you do is you write an email to us. You put must go in the subject line. You send it to radiofromhell@x96.com, and you list all of the things that you think that must go. And if we read it on the radio, well, maybe, just maybe, those things will go. I'll begin today. I have a couple of my own must-goes. Look Who's Talking 1 and 2.
Apparently there was a 3.
Oh, my.
It's particularly difficult with a cloth napkin. They got it all wrapped up in there, and so you start to unwrap trying to get to your silverware, and you can't quite, and you go, so finally you go like this, and it clatters all out onto the table. It must go. And also, I think restaurants that have silverware wrapped in paper napkins already on the table.
What's wrong with that?
Because the paper napkins are useless. They're just useless. That must go. Also, this is from Tony. It says, bonjour.
Bonjour.
My thing that must go, the Central European woman seducing the Persian leader of my Francois club. He was so helpful, so fun, so open to so many things when he was not playing sports. Now his first love is replaced by this distracting femme fatale. Instead of playing le football, who will lead our group with vocabulary practice and crepe parties or wine and cheese kickbacks? Mon chéri, Monsieur Trump. I don't have any idea.
The French club.
What that was about.
Drama in the French.
Teacher Emily here. My must go is the older guy at the gym who thinks it's okay to spit and hawk loogies on the side of the pool at the gym after his laps. Other people at the pool, A, don't want to listen to that, and B, swim through your loogies.
Swim through the loogies.
It's great, gross and awful. Also, my students using their brain power to try to figure out, is water wet, instead of doing their work. Giant sigh. And then this from Kay. Good morning, Lords of Morning Radio. My things that must go. Courier New and Comic Sans fonts. Nothing is more unprofessional than the eye strain that are these fonts. Either type with Times, Arial, or Calibri. If you proceed to write in Courier or Comic Sans, I hope they use it on your tombstone so that all of history can mock you at the cemetery.
You feel that strongly about fonts.
My wife does. This could be her.
She has strong feelings about fonts?
You don't even mention hobo in
Really?
front the font hobo. Oh, man. Let's see. The racist relatives must go. Just please, it would ease my IQ at forced holiday gatherings. Older people telling me, quote, my generation is entitled and lazy. I agree that people can be lazy, but they're in every generation. We're not entitled. If anything, we're cynical because we're stuck with prior generations' crap they left behind to fix later. Anybody who thinks that Mitt Romney will be a better replacement for Hatch, I can't even begin to roll my eyes at how asinine that is.
Yep.
I could go on, but frankly, I have a midterm to study for in between a full-time job and going to school full-time. Sincerely, the disgruntled biology student trying to study and live off maybe a little more than the ramen noodles. Leave me the bottle. Geek Show says hey, and whatever mantra-like things I'm supposed to say, Kay. Carrie?
All right. Let's see. This one from Chris. I saved up a few must-goes over 6 months. You can use my name as I'm 1,200 miles away from your station. All right. He had a whole bunch of them, but I just kind of went through and picked a few. When I go to see a newborn baby, I have no desire to hold it. Please don't ask me to hold your new baby. Went out for a nice evening at a restaurant and someone there has a screaming, crying child. Get it out of the place until the kid is calmed down. I don't go to have a nice meal just to be annoyed and distracted for my whole meal by your crying kid. The mic drop.
Yeah.
Just quit.
Yeah.
If you have to tell me how good your joke is by the mic drop, then it probably was not that good. Enough of the, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 12.
But it was really good.
The scale you set is highest at 10, so keep within the scale that you set.
Okay.
Now this one, it's worded confusing, but I think at the end it redeems itself.
Okay.
When people are getting snippy and giving facts and don't use the same nomenclature, it just bugs me. Not sure if it's to be funny or just my dumb friends. Here's the example.
Okay.
Gina ruins the show, but then Gina redeems herself every time she does traffic. So is it the same people saying Gina ruins the show and then, thank goodness for the traffic? I don't know. Anyway. On a side note, I've been listening for about 7 years, and we made our first trip to Utah and Salt Lake this past August to go to Bonneville Speed Week. You guys have a nice little city out there, and with listening so long, I felt like I knew the place without ever being there.
Oh, nice.
So he came here. He's not from here.
So the show works for people who've never been here.
No, Bill, it will never work.
Never work
That's
outside
what
of
they
Utah.
told us. That's
Yeah.
right.
This one from Ben. First thing that must go, friends that don't understand that I have a normal 9-to-5 job. So when they call me to do things at 1, I can't because I'm at work. Then they call every day asking the same thing. Leave me alone.
I have the same job still.
Also, that said friend who wants me to hang out and have a guys' night. He brings his girlfriend. What's the point of guys' night if the girls come?
It's not guys' night.
No. Guys' night anymore. This from Caitlin. Good morning, lords and lady. My thing that must go is people answering questions that no one asked them. For example, when people say, I could never do your job, that would just be so boring to me.
No one asked you if you could do my job, Brian.
Brian.
Right, Brian?
Shut up, Brian.
You do a lot of things I could never do, but here we are. If you could make this go away, I'd be grateful, Caitlin.
This is from Stacy. I'm reminded this morning of my thing that must go. Frequently on Sunday nights, my 9-year-old son comes up with reasons he can't go to school. They range in severity from believable to absurd, like I have a headache, sore throat, I can't speak, my stomach aches, I can't find my homework, my feet hurt, my feet tickle, I need glasses, my gums hurt. I give him an A for effort with his creativity with some of those, but you're going to school. Good morning, and thank you for letting me listen. I work in a clinic as a medical biller, and occasionally I help the front desk answer phones. These are the types of calls that must go. Hi, I missed a call from you guys. Me. Well, did you listen to your voicemail? No. Well, it was probably just an appointment reminder for you or someone in your family. Well, can you tell me what it was? Who are you? I don't know. When I answer the phone and the person on the other end, always a male over 45, says, "Hi, how are you?" Don't make small talk with me. Just state your business so I can get on with mine. Patients who argue with me about a balance because they disagree that they have a large insurance deductible. I don't set your insurance plan. Take it up with your insurance company. Bill's hearty handshake must go.
Ooh.
As a reward for the random boner voter. Here's a better idea.
All right.
I think the random boner voter should be able to ask Bill one question. Richie can pass the question on the Bill, and then he can answer it on the air. I, for one, find the idea of shaking Bill's hand intimidating because he has too many requirements on the etiquette of said handshake.
Well, you do make it complicated.
Well, not so much anymore. No, I just, just stick out your hand. I'll shake it. Stick something out. I'll shake it.
There you go.
All right.
Things that must go on the radio. From Hell Show.
Was it the
You want to give away?
Yeah, X96 proud to welcome 30 Seconds to Mars and Walk the Moon to USANA Amphitheater on Saturday, July 14th. Tickets are on sale now at all Smith Tix locations and SmithTix.com. Enter to win also on X96.com or right now. Text this keyword to 33986. The keyword is clock. C-L-O-C-K, clock. Text that to 33986.
Oh, clock.
Yeah.
Clock.
Gotcha.
Is this sponsored, Corey?
It is sponsored. It's brought to you by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Ah.
William Corgan coming back to Salt Lake with two of his three buddies out of the Smashing Pumpkins for their reuniting tour. It'll be at the Viv.
It'll be what's his name? James.
James Eha and Jimmy Chamberlain,
but not
Darcy. Darcy's out. She's been kicked out of
Is she
Eden.
okay?
We don't know. She's been a little erratic, according to the internet, the last couple weeks.
So here he is, Corey O'Brien. You can listen to him on the radio, 7 to whenever, 7 p.m. to whenever p.m.
Whenever.
Maybe sometimes a.m.
Depends what times, Domino shows up.
And then you can also hear him do this community and concert calendar. Now, everything he talks about here will be available to you at x96.com. And also, if you would like to be clued into all of this, what do you do?
Yeah, just text the word events to 33986, and we'll send them to you every Wednesday at noon. I should also mention the Pumpkins. I didn't say when they're coming or when tickets go on sale. I should say that. September 4th, tickets are on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.
All right.
So that's what's up. Tonight, first and foremost, the Radio from Hell Film Festival here below our feet.
Oh, yeah.
At 50 West. 21 and over event. Mm-hmm. There'll be adult beverages. There will be those. Films start at 7, I believe. There are 28 films this year.
You've seen them, right?
I've seen them. I've been putting it together. There are 28 films. There's some really good, interesting films.
That's a nice way of saying that there's a lot of crappy stuff.
No, Richie was saying too that this is a good year.
I was saying there's some very cool animations I saw that are very interesting. I don't think we've seen too many of those before, but it should be really good. So come down and enjoy that.
Now the reason that it's good at 50 West is, well, twofold. First of all, we can drink. Second of all, they set up a couch for the three of us right down front.
Yay!
Which means we can stand up and heckle if we
can
feel,
yell at the screen and stuff.
We yell at the screen if we
or
if
say
we feel
nice
the need.
job. We can applaud. Work well done.
Well, see,
do
what
that.
what I don't like about that is that my back is to the crowd.
You don't trust it?
No, I don't trust the crowd.
Well,
you like to make sure nobody's smoking. If they're behind you, you can't tell. It is a non-smoking venue. So that's going on tonight. Definitely do that. If not, Judah and the Lion will be in the venue. They're a band from Nashville. Pretty good band.
Yeah.
Also tonight, Mac Sabbath at Urban Lounge.
Oh, really? They're back, huh?
They are back. Ronald Osborne, Slayer McCheese, Grimalis, Cat Burglar. It's everything you asked for in a McDonald's metal parody band at Urban Lounge.
I didn't ask for any of that.
I don't know. I can fill that sausage egg biscuit I had on the way in. Just kind of
Google image
working
them.
it.
Okay, what are they
it's
called?
It's good. Here,
again?
right here. I got
some right there. Mac Sabbath. It's a McDonald's themed.
See, that's Ronald Osborne.
Has McDonald's sued about this?
Black
Slayer
Sabbath McCheese.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can sue over parody.
Yeah, it's a parody. That's the thing.
I mean, they don't look like they can afford lawyers, so who knows? Friday night, our very own DJ Jarvicious will be at the Green Pig, spinning the hits.
Well, I think he's going to be. Is he at the film festival
tonight?
He'll be there tonight. Yeah,
tonight at the film festival too at 6.
Man, that guy's busy.
He's good too.
He'll be there. Get the Cabano sandwich, by the way, while you're there. It's delicious.
Yes.
Friday, Modest Yahoo will be at Park City Live. I feel like he plays a lot.
Should we just call him local?
Michael Franti.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Sure.
Local artist.
Comedian R.A. Shafir will be at Wise Guys Downtown through the 24th, kicking off on Friday night. He's very funny. He actually, like kind of the Joe Rogan Rat Pack thing he has going on, one of those guys. And then all the way to Tuesday, kind of a compact week, A Day to Remember, Papa Roach, and more at Saltaire.
Hey.
So that's it. Yeah,
it's all right.
Snow showed up. Everybody stays away.
Oh,
we'll rev back up next week. Hopefully, if this melts.
All right. Thank you, Corey.
You weren't kidding when you said it was. I purposely didn't play a song because I thought I don't want to rush this segment.
I couldn't believe it. I combed through everywhere.
Did you mention the Radio from Hell Film Festival?
Oh, yeah, that's tonight.
That's tonight.
I almost forgot. Yes, I nearly. 28 films.
Yeah. Tomorrow on the Radio from Hell show, the woman who plays Kelly on Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Oh.
8:45 tomorrow on the show.
Unless you're hearing this Thursday morning.
Right. Yeah. So, well, you just missed her.
Yes, Richie.
Well, if you're looking for something to do Friday night, you can come.
You're
and
not
learn.
doing an improv, are you?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I'm teaching swing dancing down in Lehigh. If you want to come by, 3 hours of dance instruction.
3 hours?
Well, it's an hour dance instruction and then 2 hours to demonstrate your new skills. It's in at Traverse Mountain on the Lehigh side.
So
you can come and.
What makes you an expert at swing dance?
I
Well,
am a
guess-
gold award-winning semi-pro
That's
competitor
right.
in 2002. Thank you very much.
Acclamation.
Nope.
No?
Nope. This was when I was on the ballroom dance team.
So how many jobs does this make?
Oh, this is just a pickup gig.
All right.
It's just for fun?
No,
Or-
I'm getting paid. But,
You are?
But I don't do this very often. I've done it 2 or 3 times before.
Who pays you?
This is the Traverse Mountain Lehigh HOA.
Oh, okay.
It's a
You
neighborhood
hear that?
swing
Yeah, it's a
class.
neighborhood swing class.
You hear that, HOA? That's what they're doing with your money.
And
All right.
there are a lot of swingers out in Lehigh.
Yeah, well,
That's what I hear.
They won't let you put pink flamingos on your front yard, but you can certainly have Richie T dance across it.
Yep.
Okay. Great.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's-
Great.
I
I'm
don't
gonna-
want to take this class, but I would like to take a dance class with my husband. I think that would be.
Okay, do that.
No, I think it would be.
Congratulations. That'll be great. Tell us all about it when that happens. Maybe you could do it after you watch Look Who's Talking 3.
You're the one that's been on that kick.
What kind of dancing would you?
Oh, like sexy dancing, like your tango
well, you
or
need
your
the foxtrot,
or
the
your-
rumba.
Why don't you just
One of those.
Why don't you just take a pole dancing class and then
The
No, I
merengue.
want to dance with him.
Then
I don't
you
want to dance
Olympian.
for
Well,
him. That's a different.
Woman?
Could you see me on a pole? Really?
No, absolutely not.
I have no core strength at all.
And
That requires-
and your grip sucks.
It requires core strength.
And you no core strength and a bad grip.
Yep.
You'd slide up and down that
That
thing.
ain't happening.
Okay, we'll be back with Boner Fight. Going to decide who Boner of the Day is. And before that, a considerable amount of news.
Okay.
Stand by.
If you didn't submit your film to the Radio from Hell Film Festival, it's too late.
I had a Mary Jane candy yesterday.
I've never heard of a Mary Jane candy.
Mary Jane's. Mary Jane's.
You
Never?
get that in Colorado?
It's you ever heard of Mary Jane?
No.
Famous old candy. Originally made in 1914
That's probably stale.
by the Charles N. Miller Company, later by Stark Candy Company, now manufactured by Necco.
Oh.
And
Did you go back to Backyard Birds?
no, my my 11-year-old daughter, little Mrs. Bill, went up to the 7-Eleven and came back and said, "Look, they have Mary Jane's up there."
She knows what that is?
Sure, she's had them before. But listen, we know candy in our family.
Old candy.
And new candy. They know all kinds of candy. The candy, Mary Jane's, Charles Miller invented this candy and named them after his favorite aunt, Mary Jane.
Ah.
And there's a picture of a little girl on
Wonder how his other aunts felt about that.
well, he had a favorite aunt, Mary Jane. Maybe he didn't have any others, but they're terrible.
Really?
I'd forgotten how terrible they are. I think they maybe used to be a little better. It's peanut butter, essentially, or peanut. There used to be peanut butter, sort of more peanut butter in them, and peanut butter and molasses.
Oh.
And they're chewy, like taffy.
Yeah.
But now they're just more sort of molassesy and sugary and very little peanutty. I was disappointed, but she was excited to find them and enjoyed them. Never had a Mary Jane? No. Would you eat a Mary Jane if somebody gave you one?
Not when you've described it, how terrible it is.
Well, but I mean, if I just said it was peanut butter and molasses, would you go, "Oh, I'll try that"?
Yeah.
You don't have anything against molasses? No. It's just kind of.
What would I have against molasses?
Well, I don't know. You have weird food things.
Molasses is fine.
I thought, I think it's.
I have things in common with molasses.
That's. Well, you're as slow as it.
Yes.
But in January, that's what my mother used to say. Would you hurry? You're as slow as molasses in January, which is I think the slowest of all molasses.
And I'm referencing Bugs Bunny twice again on today's show.
Yeah.
He was borrowing a cup of molasses from somebody. He had his coffee cup. Elmer shot a hole through it. And it's snowing around, okay? And it starts to run out, and he goes, I didn't think molasses would run in January.
Yeah, there you go. And then of course there's all different. There's blackstrap molasses, which is the realies. See, I didn't think you'd like molasses because it's too strong.
It's
it's like strong syrup.
You don't need a spoonful of it. It's an ingredient amongst other things.
Some people use it in lieu of syrup on things.
Ew.
They'll drizzle molasses on their pancakes or on cereals or whatever. I find it a little. Oh, and the brand of molasses that you buy in the grocery store
has a rabbit on it.
It's Brer Rabbit.
Yeah.
Brer Rabbit molasses. So I
insist on Brer Rabbit molasses.
Buying molasses.
I don't think we can go into the whole reason that why Brer Rabbit might be on the.
Ask your grandpa about Song of the South, kids.
Yeah. Or when you go to Disneyland, what is it? Big
It's
Thunder
Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is full of characters that Disney no longer promotes or uses.
But they're in there.
Did that ride.
But that's the only place. Your laughing place. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Your laughing place.
That's where Brer Rabbit is.
Yeah. I like that ride, actually.
Always get wet.
And it's a nice place to cool off at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
From hell came from working in a spider-infested, dusty old studio with substandard equipment in Ogden. Now, Carrie, Bill, and Gina have a big, fancy studio in beautiful downtown Salt Lake. And they still find things to bitch about. X96.
Right. Boner fight coming up in a moment. You all right?
I don't feel good.
We got a busy day. You got to buck up.
I don't know what to do. All right, I'm trying.
But before we get to boner fight, I'd go ahead and call it a Big Boy News and Opinioendo. Brought to you by
Bill's tummy issue.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't feel good. Well, let's see. So this is interesting. This to us in the industry in particular. The non-compete issue.
Yeah, I was going to ask Spencer about this.
Nobody cares about this except us.
No, well, it's not true. House Speaker Greg Hughes is angry. He was incensed as he waived emails and notes from 65 people who say that their employer would fire them if they testify to the legislature about this non-compete issue. He calls it an affront to freedom of speech. Ironically, he aimed the criticism at Salt Lake City's 4 main television news operations for how they treat reporters, broadcasters, producers, technicians. At an earlier hearing, leaders of the TV stations opposed House Bill 241, which would eliminate non-compete clauses in many contracts that prevent employees from working for another competing TV station for a year after they leave their job. Now, this non-compete clauses are in other people's contracts too, but they're very typical in broadcast contracts.
I think we have one.
Yeah, I think is it a year or 6 months?
6 months.
I think it's 6 months because
we negotiated
that.
And the thing that's crazy about it, and I don't think people understand why this is a big deal. This isn't you decide to quit, and so you have a non-compete.
Yeah.
This could be your contract naturally ends. We've come to the end of the contract. We're not going to re-sign you. Oh, but you still can't go work anywhere else.
Or we fired you.
Or we fired you.
So you don't want, you think I'm a piece of trash and you fire me. But if I'm such a piece of trash, what do you care if I go take my trash to some other?
Well, we care.
And
we're not going to let you work in your profession.
So I say, I cannot get a job in another profession for a year and make what I make here.
Now, it's in this market.
In this market.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, I can.
You want me to move my family for a year away?
I can move, but that's
so if I'm that big of a threat, if I go across town and work somewhere else in the next year, then pay me not to work.
Yeah.
You don't want me on the air.
And some people do have that.
And see, and I think it shouldn't just because he's just talking about TV people. I think it needs to be not just media. I think it should be any job.
Yeah. Well, this bill does apply to other jobs as well. But Hughes he was really pissed because anonymously there was a TV producer and a TV anchor, and then somebody who just worked on a Florida TV station for $15 an hour. All three of them anonymously sent him messages saying, "I can't come to Capitol Hill and testify. My employer will fire me." And he said, "This is outrageous."
I would even be willing to say, if I quit, if I choose to not work here, you want me to work here, you've offered me a contract, but I say, I don't want to work here anymore, I quit, I'm going across town. I could see having a non-compete in there saying,
if you quit,
maybe.
That would be my compromise with them. I get it. You want me, I want to go across town. No. But if you fire me, or you just decide to not offer me another contract, and you're telling me I can still not work across town?
No, Gina, it's still BS. You should be able to take your skills to the highest bidder.
Yes.
Period.
Exactly.
No matter what job you work in. You should be able to take your skills to the highest bidder. And if somebody's willing to pay you more for what you do, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to quit because you won't pay me anymore, then you should be able to do that. That's only logical.
And then you got the Deseret News running practically daily editorials, saying that non-compete clauses are important. Let's not forget that company also owns broadcast media all over the nation.
This is a right-to-work state, so you can't go work. I don't get it.
I would love someone, and maybe it will be me, I don't know, who decides to fight the non-compete in court.
I think...
You can't tell me I can't make a living.
I think it seems to me I've either been told or someone has done it, but I think I've been told, and I won't reveal who did because I don't want to misquote them, said, if you were to quit and they tried to enforce the non-compete and you went to court, you would win.
Really?
That's what I recall being told.
So they're just counting
on... A non-compete would never hold up in court.
They're just counting on people not wanting to go to court.
Yeah, that's what they... The kids...
Anyway, what happened? It's dead? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's still... They're still talking about it, but Hughes wanted some people... of course, he never asked us.
He didn't ask us.
Greg, I'd come up and testify.
I tweeted you about this, Greg.
Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know.
I seem to recall our boss being understanding of it, which is why our non-compete is better than most people.
And I believe understanding of it.
And I believe it was his legal representation that insisted on it.
Yeah.
But he agreed to make it shorter for us. So,
and I think there's some other good provisions in there associated with it. But, the teenagers of Marjorie Stoneham Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, who lost 17 of their classmates and school staff members in a mass shooting, have emerged as very passionate and very articulate advocates for gun reform, speaking openly of their anger in the hope of forcing a reckoning on guns. But in certain right-wing corners of the web, and increasingly from more mainstream voices like Rush Limbaugh, and a commentator on CNN even, the students are being portrayed not as grief-ridden survivors, but as pawns and conspirators, intent on exploiting a tragedy to undermine the nation's gun laws.
They couldn't possibly just be kids that watched their friends be gunned down.
This David Hogg, I guess is his name, kid, he's 17, and he's about as articulate as they come. He's very articulate. He's very smooth. And people are saying, well, he can't possibly just be a simple student at that school because he's so well-spoken.
Because that's the Republican mindset. If something is failing, it's not because they failed. It's because there's a conspiracy.
And his father
is
a retired FBI agent, which shows you that the FBI is trying to undermine the Trump administration.
Yeah, that's what they believe.
Couldn't possibly be that this kid just witnessed his friends be gunned down, and that's why he feels strongly about it.
Can't be that.
And her name is not here in front of me in the story, but that young woman with the shaved head, Gonzalez, with the shaved head, very articulate. It's a good school. I mean, from everything I've heard about it, that's an excellent school that has great students, very motivated students. Now, everybody said that before this happened. While they all went up to Tallahassee, Florida, who organized that bus ride up there? Maybe their parents. Maybe they called and chartered a bus.
I would have.
This is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. By the way, there's a Trump dating site now. Did you know that?
Yes. So you can date another Trump voter.
It's called, what is it called?
It's called Ew.
Trump.dating. Trump.dating. And there's an ad.
On the front page.
There's an ad of this couple, and it says, join now, discover love, romance, and friendship on your mobile device or desktop. Trump.dating. The guy is wearing a baseball cap backwards that says Trump on it, and the girl, big, beautiful smile, wearing a Make America Great Again hat. And the guy in the ad, the picture of him, he was arrested many years ago and served time for child sex crime. He with a girl who was 15 and he was an adult.
Not surprised.
That was something I did 25 years ago, Mr. Riddleberger said. Jody, his wife of 22 years, co-founded the Political Action Committee, Conservatives for Guilford County. Both of them have donated to the Tea Party. Both of them are Trump supporters. But he said, yes, it did happen. I did my time. I did take indecent liberties. Well, he didn't say that, but he did. He took indecent liberties with a 15-year-old girl when he was 25.
All right.
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
Sorry, I didn't have time to get to the story. KFC in Great Britain, they have a big problem.
Yes,
they're out of chicken.
I've had that problem here.
We'll get to it coming up.
All right, so Boner candidate number one, if you try to talk to your legislator, he may have you arrested. An Idaho senator ranting and raving at students who drove 300 miles to meet him. They had an appointment, but he said, if you bother me again with your nonsense about abortion, they weren't there to talk about abortion, I will have you arrested. And then Boner candidate number two from round two, they don't feel good. The president of the Philippines, Mr. Duterte, mocking condom use amid skyrocketing HIV rates.
All right, there you go. You've got to decide which one of these two is the worst. Which one of these two should be Boner of the Day? One or two? Pick a candidate number. Remember that number. Put it in the message of a text. Text it to 33986. Easy. You can call, use your voice to vote, 877-602-9696. Or go to x96.com and look for the box that says Boner Fight February 21. If you don't see that box, refresh. It should appear. All right, you've got less than 300 seconds to do it. It is Boner of the Day.
Stay tuned for a 1 hour nonstop music wingding right after Radio from Hell on X96.
Today, we examine another group of words used by most Utahns called L words, or words that end in ELL. And to help you with today's lesson, each time an L word is used in the following dialogue, a bell will sound. Imagine, if you will, our two friends, LeVar and LeGrand, together in LeVar's trailer house. The TV is on. A conversation ensues. Again, these are L words.
I love this TV show.
Yeah.
I am so glad that someone is showing the reruns of McKell's Navy.
Me too. You know, I would just love to set sail with McKell myself. Hey, you remember the one when the wacky crew of PT Boat 73 tried to save that beached well?
Oh, yeah. They had a hard time because of this big storm.
Yeah.
Gale force winds and hell stones the size of golf balls.
Yeah.
But they saved that well anyway. McKell did not fell.
Well, no thanks to Gruber. Yeah, that was quite a tell, though. Hey, listen, give me some of them snacks, would you? I'm hungry.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
What?
Trell mix.
Yeah.
You're not going to like this, LeGrand, but Trell mix makes me thirsty for just one thing.
You're not gonna be drinking beer in front of me, are you, LeVar?
Oh, no. I'm going to have me a glass of L.
L is beer?
Yeah, but this is pretty mild. It's that Pell L from Squatters. It's so mild I can drink a whole bucket of it.
You'd get drunk if you drunk a whole Pell of Pell L. Then you'd get throwed in jail, and I'd have to bail you out. Oh, hey, looky here what I got in the mail. It's a flyer from Deseret Book. It says here that Dan Quell is coming to town to sign copies of his new book.
Boy, the liberals sure rode Bush and Quell out of Washington on a rel.
Sure did.
They fought tooth and nail, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear that this new book of his really lifts the veil of secrecy about Washington life and what really went on. You know, I'd like to see him. What Deseret Book is he at?
Well, the one by that big jewelry store.
Big jewelry store. You mean Morgan's Jewelers?
Nope. Zell's.
Well, let's award the boner.
And this morning's boner is brought to you in part by White Chicken Chili.
And looking for a great deal on a used smartphone, but don't want to meet a creepy guy in a parking lot? Bad Apple repairs, buys, sells, and trades smartphones. Unlike the guy in the parking lot, Bad Apple guarantees them. 10 locations. Go to badapplerepair.com.
Boner candidate number one was, if you try to talk to your legislator, this is in Idaho, he may have you arrested. The Idaho senator ranting at students who drove 300 miles to meet him, a scheduled appointment. They had some issues that they wanted to talk about, birth control for women and sex education. The students were sponsored by the Planned Parenthood Association, or helped with this by Planned Parenthood, and the Idaho senator started yelling at them and threatened to call law enforcement if they ever came back to the Capitol. Then there was boner candidate number two. They don't feel too good. That's Manuel Duterte, president of the Philippines.
Yep.
In the face of skyrocketing HIV rates, telling his citizens, his people, don't, women, just use birth control. Don't use condoms because they don't feel good.
Here's a piece of candy with the wrapper on. That'll.
And he had a piece of candy.
Yep.
And he said, "Here, try to eat
That's
this
no
with
good.
a wrapper on it. It's no good. It's like a condom." Let's see. A hearty handshake you will get upon request if you come up to me, if you are a random voter. The winner, though, boner candidate number 1, the Idaho legislator. If you try to talk to your legislature.
Okay.
He went. It's close. Very close.
All right, that's Boner of the Day for today. He is now qualified to be Boner of the Week. That happens on Friday at about this time. So I'm looking at the email that we got from
which one?
The Fox 13 people.
Oh, Bob Evans.
Yeah, and it's called 5 Questions.
3 questions.
3 questions.
Oh, sorry. But he does say that he's going to ask more than 3 questions.
Well, then they edit out and down to the best 3 questions. They ask a bunch.
Yeah.
And then they.
So the 3 of us will be vying to see.
I'm not going to vie for anything. What do you mean?
Oh, that's right. You never do. You don't need to come.
Now, it doesn't say when this will air. On Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess we'll be on Sunday night then.
On Fox. Bob Evans.
Festus is excited to see us.
I hope.
Is he going to be?
Because
that's
he
right,
works there.
Oh.
He's
He
like,
gets
I
to
can
be-
show you around my work.
He gets to be around Hope Woodside all the time.
Think she'll be out there?
No, not that early.
Probably
That
not
time of
that
day?
early. Might be though. I don't know.
Do they do an
she knows.
afternoon news?
She knows I'm coming.
She only does the nighttime.
Yeah.
Do they do an afternoon news?
They do, but she doesn't do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who does the afternoon news?
I'm not sure. Carrie Cronk.
Is it Carrie Cronk?
Yes, Dylan.
Oh, Dylan thinks he knows these things.
We have I heard a story just yesterday about they've been preparing for your arrival at Fox
Really?
City. We have a slew of old interns
Well, now I'm concerned.
who work out there and
Uh-oh.
Now I'm really
We won't
concerned.
remember their names.
This is the ambush journalism that the Republicans have been warning me about.
and they said, Bob was asking was a little nervous about what to ask Carrie, Bill, and Gina for their 5 questions.
3 questions.
Sorry,
Oh.
and
3 questions.
That makes me real happy.
I know.
And so he gathered all of our former intern. Maybe Festus was involved, and he said, "Tell me everything about him." And they talked, and he was taking notes
Because he has to come up with the 5 questions. For the 3 questions.
It's a lot of fun. So I don't know. They're kind of. I know our former interns helped. What kind of gotcha questions? Maybe you guys will cry. Maybe Bob will make you cry,
This
like
is bad.
Shauna did.
This is bad.
Yeah,
I know.
Yep.
Okay, I know one of the questions he's going to ask me is how many times have you found Bill peeing in the corner?
Today?
That's what's good.
How many times today?
I know that'll be one. I'm ready.
Peeing in the corner.
I don't know why.
So I wonder what interns would. I mean, I never
Are they
interact.
interns we were nice to?
I never interact with interns.
We're nice to
Well, maybe that'll be one of the questions. Carrie, I've heard you don't interact with the interns.
I
What's
don't.
the deal with that?
Because they're Richie's interns.
Okay. Well, that should be your answer.
He's made it clear to me that they're his interns, and so I don't use them. I don't depend on them. I'm too much of a control freak.
Well, you do depend on
But
them.
you could
I
interact
do.
with
I
us.
do. I do depend on them during the show,
yeah.
but they're really in there for Richie's help.
Bill, I heard you now fill your own water bottle. What's the story behind that?
Did I used to have interns fill my water bottle?
Yeah.
And you were told you couldn't ask them to do that.
Gina,
whom?
how many Diet Cokes
No,
a
I
day do you
wasn't.
really drink?
Yes, you were. You don't
Who
remember?
told me that?
You remember that whole thing?
No, I don't.
Management. Interns can only do radio specific things, and filling your water bottle is not a
I don't-
radio specific thing.
However,
Hey,
now
Nick, will you fill my water bottle?
He'll do it.
I know. I'm going to get Nick to fill my water bottle every day.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
You brought it up,
Now you
Dylan.
committed it.
talk to HR.
Yep. It's okay. Your desk will be closer to HR now, so you won't have to walk across the
Oh,
building.
that's why they're moving us.
Oh.
I just figured it out. We have to move desks next week.
Why don't you just move Richie? Let's be honest. That's the problem. Move Richie over and let the rest of us stay where we are. So he'll be closer to his friends at HR.
Carrie, you will be happy to know the change that I talked about this morning is official, and you are now further away from me.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay. Because
whoever arranged the seating chart, the new seating chart, put Carrie and Richie right next to each other.
I'd be next to Richie and sharing a wall with Adam.
No.
And so that was a recipe.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you did that, because Richie, if the closer you are to Carrie, the easier it'll be to tell when he's dead.
That's true.
I can take the mirror right over. I've got the little breathing mirror that I can put underneath his nose. Oh, nope, still there.
I'm still breathing. You're not on the show.
So now
now you're next to Bill, but where Gina was. Yeah, we'll share.
Gina's where I was.
Yep, we'll share a video once we get moved over. We'll do that video next week to show our new higher cubicles, and I love that that's being sold as a positive.
They're smaller and in a part of the building that is very inconvenient and not conducive to how we work.
Oh, Gina, calm down.
Nobody asked us how we work or what we need. Nobody.
Would you calm down about this?
No.
Then go. I want you to stand up and march out of here and go to the boss's office now and start ragging on him about it, because I'm tired of hearing it.
How do you guys work, and what works for your show, and how do you? This is not conducive to that.
Here. Carry that sign.
Yeah, what does it say?
Says union.
Union.
That's a joke. That's a joke for
I'm gonna Norma Ray.
Go Norma Ray.
Joke for Gina. That's all.
Norma Ray.
But Gina, you're neglecting the walls on these cubicles are higher,
I
and
don't
what a
care.
great asset that is.
Well,
it's like having an office.
Here's what people are gonna hate. Because what do? We're horrible people.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
No.
We complain. And we swear.
And there's the farting.
And we're foul. I'm dead serious about this.
Yeah. Oh, no.
We do not work well with others. It's better when we're away from people.
I made these predictions already. I told you exactly what's going to happen and who's going to do what. And I'm
This will not be good.
I just want a quick, you were right. That's all.
I am surprised that they don't put the three of you in an office with a door that shuts.
No, thank you.
Really? Really?
I'm
as
serious.
much as you guys may not like having that smaller quarters, having a door and just having a place where you guys could lock it.
Talk?
So you could talk. So it's just the three of you. I'm surprised that they don't do that.
You're going to have to reserve a conference room if you guys want to talk.
My stomach hurts.
All right. Thank you. Got to tell you about Subway.
Gina.
A delicious Subway sandwich.
It's Utah Subway restaurants celebrating the jazz with the starting 5 fresh value meals.
Okay.
So there's 5 subs, and you pick your favorite. It's like the Subway Club, Black Forest ham, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, turkey breast, or oven roasted chicken.
I'll take that one.
I want the chicken.
And you get your choice of veggies.
Yes.
And
a lot of olives.
Chips and a drink.
Me too.
Sun chips.
Yeah.
And this February and March, customers and fans can come try one of the starting 5 fresh value meals, and you can see how you enter to win a VIP suite experience with the Jazz.
Ooh.
That's you and 3 of your friends enjoying the suite March 30th at the Jazz. You're going to get food and access to the pregame warm-up. It's a really cool prize. You'll also get some like a personalized jersey and a Jazz hat.
It's a very good deal.
So you need to go into Subway and order your fresh starting 5 fresh value meal. And then they'll tell you when you get there how to enter to win. Fresh value meal includes the purchase of any sub, drink, and chips. For complete contest rules and regulations, visit utahjazz.com/starting5. Subway is a registered trademark of Subway IP Inc. 2018 Subway IP Inc.
On this week's episode of the Let's Go Eat Show, we're talking pot.
Thanks a lot for answering our ad. Look, we've got a lot of other people to interview, so we'll just let you know, okay? Loser.
God, what a bunch of no-loads. I mean, we haven't had one single applicant that I'd even consider hiring. Why are they so bad?
I just think it shows you the quality of people who read the paper.
Yeah.
Losers, all of them.
I don't know. Maybe it's the way the ad is worded. How does it read?
I think I wrote it just the way we talked about. Look, here it is.
Okay.
Oh, listen. We need a new stalker. Do you think you have what it takes? If so, apply in person to Kerry and Bill, the Radio from Hell guys at X96. Previous stalking experience is not required. We will train. X96 is an equal opportunity employer.
That's pretty straightforward. Guess I'm just getting discouraged. I don't think we're ever going to find anybody to replace the old guy.
Well, now, we both agreed that no matter how much we liked him, it would just be stupid of us to wait for him to get out.
Oh, all right.
We're just going to have to keep looking.
Okay. Lori, send in the next applicant, please.
Oh, hello, boys.
Hello, Chunga. Send in the next applicant, will you? We're in a hurry.
No, you don't understand. I am the next applicant.
What? Oh my God, you're serious. You want to stalk us?
We.
You're not impressing us by speaking French.
No, I mean we want to stalk you. All 10 of my personalities, including Tina the lap dancer. Let's look at this logically, boys. I'm already on the payroll. I know your phone numbers and where you live. And I can gut and skin a rabbit in less than 2 minutes. And you guys probably don't know this, but I've seen both of you naked. Lots of times. And, well, I love you.
Hey, that wasn't bad. What do you think, Bill? He's creeping me out.
Well, let's try the phone test.
Okay.
All right, pretend that it's 3 a.m. There's a thunder and lightning storm going on. My phone rings. I pick it up, and it's you, Chunga. What do you say?
Hello, Bill. Want to go to a jazz game?
No! Doesn't work.
No.
Try again. Phone rings. I pick it up. It's you. What do you say, Chunga?
Bill, it's me, Chunga. Want to go over to Cummings and watch them hand-dip chocolates?
Not even scary. Not scary at all. I'm sorry, Chunga. You just don't have what it takes. Look, send in the next one, would you?
Oh, come on, you guys. I know you don't like all the other stalker candidates. They stink. Besides, there's only one guy left in the lobby, and it's Frank Layton wearing one of his wife's old moo-moos, and his face is smeared with red lipstick.
Red lipstick, huh? Well, we'll send him in.
Mr. Layton, the boys will see you now.
Hello, girls!
brilliant.
Yep.
Jimmy Kimmel, I should tape his show and at least watch the monologue more often, although we get a lot of it here.
Mhm.
But I was reading a little interview with his wife, who works on the show.
She's a writer?
Writer and producer of the show. And she looks over every monologue.
Mhm.
You know, Jimmy Kimmel works on the monologue with his writers, and then she looks it over before he does it. But, you know, when he did when he became politicized, when he did the famous monologue about their little boy, Billy, who had been born with a heart defect, and Kimmel did the monologue all about health care and how he and his wife were lucky. Their son we can afford this, and we have great health care, but so many Americans don't. Well, she said that night, the night he did that monologue, I said, "Where's the monologue? I want to look it over." And she was at home with Billy, but I want to look over the monologue. He said, "No, I don't want you to see it. I just want you to hear it." And she said, "I was breastfeeding Billy, and I watched him do that monologue, and she said, I was in tears.
I'm sure.
It was the most raw and honest thing I had ever seen my husband do, or I hadn't seen many people do it on TV." And so
that's sweet.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice. It made me almost tear up to read that and think about it again. So.
All right.
So
I don't let my wife look over any of my jokes.
I don't. She'd divorce you probably.
Maybe
you don't let her listen to the show, do you? Because
I don't know if she has a radio.
Listen, she could listen to your show.
She thinks you're a pizza delivery guy.
I don't tell her what I do.
She could listen to your show, but if she ever listened to this part of what you do, she would be very dismayed.
I don't doubt it. No. You know what I have today?
What?
Dad jokes.
Okay.
Yeah, you ready?
Okay.
Listen, you'll like this one. Okay, here we go. Knock, knock. Wait, no, I screwed it up. Hang on. Why did the chicken cross the road?
I don't know, John. Why?
To get to your house. Yeah. Oh, so a horse walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "Hey,
face. Yeah.
Hey."
So here's
and the horse says, "Yes, please."
So here's
okay. Now, wait, come back.
Okay,
No,
right.
wait. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The chicken that came to your house.
Here, I got one. I got one for you, John. I got one for you. Okay. Ready?
What's he laughing at?
Here. I'm going to do this one for you,
So
John.
you do the one joke.
You can use
and
this
then
one later.
Then
Yeah.
you come back to it.
Ready? Okay. Here. Say knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Damn it.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. There you go.
It's an old Smothers Brothers routine.
Yeah.
Classic. High five.
No, he doesn't
Oh yeah,
high
that's
five.
right.
Party on the top floor. There we go.
I do.
Why do you high five him?
Give a little
I
slappy.
told
Make Daddy happy.
you I will never initiate a high five,
Oh.
but because of who created the high five
That's
and that
right.
whole story,
I forgot.
Oh,
I
that's
forgot.
right.
All right, my hands are cold. It's freezing in here.
I will never initiate a high five because I think it's stupid. But I won't leave people hanging.
I love the high five.
I
I'll
know.
high five
people,
anybody.
I know people like you do love the high
Yeah, I
five.
love it.
Is it still the show?
Should we record the promo?
Dad joke gun nuts.
Is this part of the show?
The horse walks into the bar,
Long face.
and the bartender
Julia
says,
Roberts.
and the bartender says, "Hey," and the horse says, "Yes, please."
Yeah.
Is this the show?
He's laughing again.
Julia Roberts walks into a bar.
You shut up
Bartender
about
says, "Why the
Julia
long face?"
Shut up about
Is this part of the show? I have no idea, but this is the best they've ever been.
Okay.
Okay.
That one worked in my favor.
All right. Let's do the promo.
On Thursday's Radio from Hell show is full.
At 6:45, it's Geek News on the radio.
Then at 7, it's Beat Gina with Heath Ledger trivia, and you could win University of Utah basketball tickets and a Prohibition gift card.
At 7:45, our old friend Punk calls in to review the Radio from Hell Film Festival.
Then at 8 a.m., Sean Means reviews real movies. And at 8:45, Dana De Lorenzo plays Kelly on Ash versus Evil Dead. Will call in.
And Jim Norton's calling at 9.
At 9, Jim Norton?
That's
Okay.
too much Radio from Hell show on X96.
Is Norton in studio or just calling?
I think he's
calling. Okay, all right.
He is coming to town.
Is that the guy that sang "Battle of the Bismarck"?
That's Johnny Horton.
Oh.
It's easy to get them mixed up.
Yeah. Well, both of them were known to frequent prostitutes.
True.
So we got to go because we got to
right.
we got to go to Fox and we got to come back here for the Radio from Hell Film Festival tonight, 6 o'clock, Club 50 West, $10, drinks and food available.
Think of it as like a mixer almost. If you want to just come and hang out and watch some films and hang out with us and drink and eat, come tonight, 50 West Broadway, right here.
Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
You shouldn't grow a drink.
John Smith is next.
Let's keep listening.
A 1-hour nonstop music wingding starts now. Utah's original alternative, X96.